IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Fairfield Medical Center, Park National Bank, Dagger Law, the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, Standing Stone Bank, Fairfield DD, North Body Shop, Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, the Edwards Insurance Agency, Buckeye Toyota, The Carriage Company, Huddle Tire and Auto, the Fairfield County Commissioner's Office, South Central Power, Sheridan Funeral Home, and Buckeye Lake Marina.
From Reynoldsburg Stadium, IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings Game of the Week. Tonight, it's a matchup from the OCC Buckeye as the Lancaster Golden Gales take on the Reynoldsburg Raiders. Hi again, everybody. I'm Josh Messerly, joined alongside by Marion Royster. And really an interesting matchup tonight, Marion. We have two teams, sub-500 records, but 2-0 in the OCC, and really kind of a pivotal game as far as both teams' playoff chances as well.
Yes, that all-important getting that home game, the first round of the playoffs is certainly at stake tonight. But as you said, Josh, both teams coming in a little bit of a winning streak, 2 wins in a row. Lancaster, it's the first time they've won 2 games in a row in a couple years. So they're looking forward to riding that momentum, as is Reynoldsburg. So it should be a good matchup tonight. Indeed,
Lancaster 3-4 overall. They won last week at Groveport 30-14. Reynoldsburg 2-4 overall. They won going away at Newark last week 62-0. And quickly, Marion, let's get your keys to the game brought to you by North Body Shop, providing quality customer service, parts, and reliability. Since 1979, owner Mark North will provide you with a free written warranty in each estimate. That's Mark North of North Body Shop. He'll treat you right.
Well, you have tonight, Josh, a couple teams with contrasting styles a little bit. So the keys to the game are going to rely on which team is able to have the game go at the pace that they want. First and foremost, with Reynoldsburg, they're going to want to, try to keep things fast-paced, going, high explosive offense, keeping the pressure on Lancaster, if you will. And Lancaster, on the contrary, wants to kind of keep the Reynoldsburg explosive plays to a minimum. They're probably going to be at a speed disadvantage tonight, rather. Let's call it what it is. But that certainly doesn't mean that they don't have a chance to win. Good technique, keeping the Reynoldsburg players in front of them, and maybe hoping that the Raiders get a little bit impatient, maybe try to force things. They might be able to get a turnover or two.
And you see the Reynoldsburg jerseys. Those are alternate Army National Guard uniforms. They didn't consult the play-by-play guy when asking about those, but we will tell you in advance. It may be a bit of a challenge for us to read those numbers, but we'll do our best tonight. And we are moments away from our opening kickoff, which tonight is brought to you by Sheridan Funeral Home. Sheridan Funeral Home is proud to be supporting high school football. They have been serving the communities of Lancaster and Fairfield County for over 100 years. So Lancaster will be receiving the opening kickoff. They'll be moving from south to north here at Reynoldsburg Stadium, a beautiful facility. And we are ready to go. A high end-over-end kick. It'll be Nasir Robinson, who had a kick return for a touchdown last week, taking it. And he's got a seam up to about the 26-yard line before he is stacked up. Robinson ran it back 90 yards for a score last week against Groveport. And Lancaster will start with some decent starting field position on their opening possession.
Yeah, we'll talk a lot about Robinson tonight, I'm sure. Also, A.J. Locke, the very, a 1-2 punch, I guess, if you will. And Robinson has that speed, again, that Reynoldsburg's coming in tonight with a ton of speed on their end. But Robinson may not be quite as fast as some of their fastest players, but somebody they're going to look to utilize for certain.
Here you see Trace Van Gundy, number 8, the quarterback. 6 foot, 180-pound junior leading the offense as they work out the wing tee to start 1st and 10. It'll be Locke up the middle, and he's stacked up right away and could not find a lot of running room there. As Anthony Mobley, who was a defensive lineman, defensive end earlier this year, recently switched to linebacker, and that's really been some success, or led to success for the Raiders on defense.
Yeah, Coach White has talked about how that has really been the change in their defense, being able to move Keyshawn Slaughter from his position to Mobley's old position, having Mobley play inside. He's made a lot of plays at that linebacker position since then.
That's a team that started off slow this season. We'll talk a little bit about that. Here's a toss to Locke, and he's not going to find a lot of running room there either. Maybe a couple on second down. Actually get a better spot than we thought. Out to the 33-yard line. He'll bring up third down.
Yeah, and that's a little uncharacteristic. Usually Locke likes to do the majority of his work between the tackles, kind of that bruising inside presence, if you will. But I think Lancaster trying to switch things up a little bit, get him on the perimeter. But the Raiders were ready for it that time. But still a very third and manageable for Lancaster, given their offense. This is the type of third and third and fours that they like to be in to keep the ball moving.
And if you're not familiar with Lancaster's offense, a lot similar to some of the service academies you see Army, Navy, similar to that. Here's Nasir Robinson inside handoff, and he will pick up a first down out to the 40-yard line.
Yeah, and again, you'll see some different formations than what Lancaster was running earlier in the season. Now they're lining Robinson a lot just in the backfield, maybe in that true wing T as opposed to in the slot coming in motion. I think that's been beneficial for him, so he can get north and south a little quicker, and it proved to be a difference on that play. Hit the hole off tackle very nicely, able to get a first down.
There you see head coach Brian Schoonover in the background behind the huddle in his first year at Lancaster, coming over from Groveport after taking a brief hiatus between the two. First and 10. Robinson around the left side, and he's going to get a couple of yards to the 43-yard line as the Reynoldsburg defense stretched that one out. You know, we saw Lancaster week one, Marion. It seems like, I don't know about you, but it seems like they have become more comfortable, even though it's a similar offense, almost identical to what they were running under Rob Carpenter, that, maybe they feel more comfortable and maybe players have fit into their roles a little bit better by this point.
Yeah, I really think that's true, Josh. The players have fit into the roles, and I think the coaches have also got a little bit more comfortable with knowing what the players can do and calling plays that play more to their strengths.
Van Gundy will drop back, steps up, and he's going to run. And he will get out near midfield and near another first down, as it was Alex Uhl among some of the defenders to come up and make the stop. Zion Jackson-Wilburn also in there as well. And it's going to be about a yard short of the first down marker.
Yeah, and to the point you were just saying, Josh, I don't know that we would have saw the Gales drop Van Gundy back on a specific rollout pass this early in the game on a second down like that, but I think they feel more comfortable in what his capabilities are and able to do that. And even though he didn't throw it, got him in a third and short.
Third and 1, a handoff straight ahead, and that should be enough for a first down. And that on that carry was Luke Peden, 6 foot, 210-pound senior running back, and he will move the sticks. And this running game has been going well for the Gales the last couple of games. They've had 685 yards rushing the last 2 games and 705 total yards offense the last couple of games. And really, Coach Schoonover talked about in the newspaper this week he was impressed with the unselfish play of the offensive line.
Yes. This line has really just done a tremendous job, been very physical. Looks like we've got a flag on this play.
Yep, whistles and flags will stop this one. David Pitkin, our referee
got
tonight.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, Lancaster.
Certainly in a game like this, you got to be careful with penalties. So they'll bring it back to 1st and 15.
But just to finish that thought on the offensive line, Josh, Coach Schoonover also talked about how they draw inspiration from the running backs and how hard they run, and that allows them to really play even that much more physical than they were before, as those backs are churning up yards and running hard aggressively on themselves.
You see Robinson on the carry. He was run down from behind by Keyshawn Slaughter. Keyshawn Slaughter talked about moving his position, was playing inside, now moved outside to defensive end. 6'2", and he's listed at 346 pounds. And you saw in that play running down Nasir Robinson.
Yeah. Just a player with incredible talent, a guy that they have really struggled earlier in the season to figure out exactly how to utilize his talents, but I think they found a sweet spot now, and I think he'll make a lot of plays tonight and for the rest of the season.
Locke on the carry over left guard, and he is stacked up, nowhere to run. As the Reynoldsburg defense there to shut it down. That's been something over the last few years under Buddy White, the head coach now in his 11th year at Reynoldsburg. Raiders have had some good size up front and makes it tough for teams like Lancaster like to run the ball. They've really stuffed their running game.
Yeah, not just guys that are just big, behemoth type, football players, but guys that also have a lot of athleticism to them. Good lateral movement, able to get up and down the line of scrimmage, really clog those holes. He's really been blessed with some great talent.
Third and long. Van Gundy going to heave it downfield. That's incomplete, and a flag thrown as the intended receiver was Luke Peden, and it's going to be pass interference.
Pass interference, Reynoldsburg.
And we'll probably get another look at that one, but looked like it was a good call there as Peden got ran into trying to catch that football.
Yeah, I don't think that Van Gundy meant to do it, but we'll see here on the replay. As he rolls to the right and then throws back to the left, he holds Pete just up enough as he has to come back to the ball, but it makes the defender run through him, and then you're going to get pass interference called just about every time.
And a timeout taken by Lancaster, which will give us an opportunity to remind you tonight's timeouts are brought to you by the Carriage Company, located at 1031 North Memorial Drive in Lancaster. Learn more at carriagecompany.com. Also, our pregame show tonight was brought to you by Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events. Carol and Eric Whittington would like to invite you to stop by Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events in Lancaster. They're a small family-owned business that have been servicing the Central Ohio area since 2003. They would love to help plan your next event, weddings, special events, even corporate events, all with a personal touch. They can be reached at 740-689-6991. Beautiful night here at Reynoldsburg Stadium. Thought we may see a rain shower or two, but looks like that's going north and south of us, so we'll take it.
Yeah, we will take it. Again, moving that season up, or moving the season up just a week has certainly proven to be a godsend for a lot of the weather situations this season. Hard to believe that we have 2 weeks to go in the season. We're still playing games that start at about 70 degrees.
I say it's flown by, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
And whistles and flags will stop this play. We'll hear from David Pitkin one more time.
Dead ball, illegal procedure, Lancaster.
Part of our officiating crew tonight. We'll mention those here momentarily. They're already there. There it is, Pitkin, and we'll let you, Marion, read the rest.
Sure, that's right. Again, the referee, David Pitkin. Our umpire tonight, Matt Brewer. Our linesman is Mike Susi. Back judge, Corey Thorold. Back judge, Alex Szanski. And center judge, Dennis Watkins.
So a penalty will back the Gales up 5 and make it 1st and 15 from the 39. They've had it on their opening possession, haven't given it up yet, and a flag thrown in as Nasir Robinson eaten up right at the line of scrimmage. And in there to make the play again, Keyshawn Slaughter. And I have a feeling, Marion, we're going to be talking about him tonight quite a bit.
We're going to be talking about him quite a bit, I'm sure of that.
Shot block against Lancaster, or block below the waist against Lancaster.
The penalty is illegal chop block against the Gales.
Yeah, Keyshawn Slaughter again gets off the block there. You see him when he's matched up against the tight end there, which is Ryan Walker, that was doing his best to try to block him there. But Walker, only goes about 6'1", 185, and while that's a pretty good size kid in most instances, tough to go up against a guy with the size that Keyshawn Slaughter possesses.
And the fact that he can move, though. I mean, big guy, just to move him out of the way is one thing, but he can also run.
Yeah. I'm sure that Coach White is fortunate to have him back. I'm sure we'll talk a little bit later about his journey in his high school career thus far.
1st and forever, and a handoff, and nothing doing there. A.J. Locke can't find any running room.
First on the play by Anthony Mobley.
Anthony Mobley leading the charge on defense. If nothing else, the Lancaster defense getting a rest here in the first quarter.
Yeah, they have, and that's the thing. I mean, Lancaster was putting together a really, really good drive, taking some time off the clock. Again, as we talked in the keys of the game, doing exactly what they would like to do and keeping the Reynoldsburg offense off the field. But it only takes a penalty. In this case, it was a couple penalties, and when one is a 15-yarder, obviously a drive killer there.
2nd and 25. Van Gundy looking downfield, finds Locke in the flats, and he'll get a decent gain there out across the 40-yard line. Pulled down by Alex Uhl. That's a big chunk play for the Gales.
Stopped on the play by Alex Uhl.
Nice chunk play here. We'll watch the replay here. Again, Van Gundy doing a nice job on the rollout. You can tell that the Gales know that that's where he's comfortable throwing the football. Able to find A.J. Locke in the flat there. That's the good speed. The Raiders get him on the ground, but not until he gets a pretty decent chunk of the yardage back of what they need.
3rd and 16. Robinson will go in motion. Van Gundy will heave it downfield, and it is incomplete. He's trying to find Riley Poston inside the 5-yard line, but making the play defensively was number 34, Trayon Spencer.
Yeah, great coverage there by Spencer. He was a guy we'll watch here on the replay. Again, Van Gundy on the rollout. Shows good arm strength here, but Spencer, just tremendous coverage. Running step for step with the receiver. Turns his head around at the right exact time. Able to get a pass break up there. Spencer back, missed a little bit earlier this season with some injuries. Again, this Reynoldsburg team has had a lot of players in and out of the lineup with some injuries. Spencer's one that I know they're very excited to have back.
Marquise Gillum back at the 10-yard line, waiting the punt, a high snap. Dickerson does a good job of getting away. Gillum decides not to call for the fair catch, and he is wrapped up immediately. Good job by the Lancaster defense on special teams. J.D. Thomas and company there to make sure Gillum didn't get loose.
Yeah, great job there on the coverage. Also a pretty good punt. A great job of pulling the punt down and getting it off. And we'll get our first look at the Gales offense and also, the Gales defense and also this Reynoldsburg offense.
And Reynoldsburg piled up a bunch of points last week against Newark. They're a team that has had an interesting schedule. We'll get more into that, but they're a better team than their schedule indicates. There's a swing pass out in the flat, and I believe that's Gillum, and he will get out near the 30-yard line.
Dijon Jennings pass.
Dijon Jennings, who had 204 yards and 5 touchdowns last week against Newark. He had 4 in the second quarter a week ago.
Wow. Yeah, 6 touchdowns, the last couple games, and he's also been very efficient, Josh. Being able to throw the ball at high completion percentage and doing some nice things.
And they're not a team that likes to huddle much, and the up-tempo results in another first down on that carry. Here's the last pass play, and it'll be a first down for Reynoldsburg on the carry. That was Zion Jackson-Wilburn on the carry for Reynoldsburg.
And Reynoldsburg, again, not wasting any time. That high tempo, keeping the pressure on the Lancaster defense. Here they go.
Jennings has a man out in the flat. Catch is made, and taken down immediately is Troy Martin. This Reynoldsburg receiving core, very good, and they've got a lot of depth. So while Gillum gets all the attention, everybody else benefits from that extra attention that he gets.
Yeah, and all the attention, as you said, Josh, that Gillum does attract allows the other guys really to eat. I mean, they do a fantastic job. They catch the ball. They make plays with themselves, and have a fantastic speed of their own. So just a multifaceted attack.
Jennings stays in the pocket, hits Gillum over the middle. He's got room to run inside the 30 and shoved out of bounds. Marquise Gillum runs a 4.340 and a track regional finalist, and you can see why on that reception.
Yeah, he's a fast guy. And Josh, you know that I'm one for hyperbole from time to time. I like to do, comps, and you look at a guy the size of Gillum as we'll watch him on this crossing pattern on the replay. The speed that he possesses, running around with number 10, I think you know where I'm going here, a professional player, slight of stature. Tyreek Hill.
Oh, Tyreek Hill. Okay.
He
I was thinking Deshaun Jackson.
No, he reminds me so much of Tyreek Hill. And
yeah.
Again, if you're Gillum, that's a pretty good comp to have.
Jennings on the keeper, and he will find a yard or two at the most as the Gales strung that one out And there on the stop was Jacob Rohr, number 66. Hedges also in there as well. Yeah, Buddy White told our Tim Shoemaker, who had a conversation with him this week, that Marquise Gillum, most explosive player he has ever coached.
And at a 4.3 speed and a 40, I would definitely believe that. You don't see many faster than that. And the thing that I've been so impressed with Gillum, not only is he fast, he plays very strong for his size, plays well behind his pads. He's a tough guy to bring down despite being a little smaller.
And he will get a swing pass here. He cuts it upfield and gets shoved out of bounds as A.J. Locke there to make sure he wouldn't get much further. Looks like a penalty marker is down there on the far sidelines as well.
Brought down on the play by A.J. Locke. There is a penalty flag on the field.
Looks like they got a hold.
Yeah, that's what the official on the far side was indicating. We'll hear from Dennis Pitkin.
Call is holding against the Raiders.
So holding against Reynoldsburg, and that will make a big difference in field position because they'll go back to the 35-yard line.
Now, we didn't get a number on that one, Josh, but I would bet a large sum of money that it was one of the receivers on the perimeter blocking. When you're a team that runs a lot of wide receiver screens like that, it's very imperative that your receivers block with good technique on the perimeter. And sometimes those guys that aren't used to blocking like that, they can get called for holding and other penalties.
Jennings gets out of the pocket, and he's going to have room to run. He'll get back the penalty yardage and then some. And that's going to be a key for the Gales tonight, see if they can contain Dijon Jennings, which is not an easy task.
No, it's not. And Dijon Jennings may be one of the more underrated players in our area, Josh. You know, a quarterback possesses rare combination of speed, quickness, ability to throw the ball. He also makes the right decisions more often than not. Takes care of the football very well, and just a great all-around football player, a nice quarterback for the Raiders to have.
Throws over the middle, incomplete. That was intended for Gillum. Could not haul it in. And he'll bring up third down.
It looks like they may have gotten their wires crossed on that one just slightly. I think Gillum was expecting to be held up a little bit, as sometimes when receivers are running over the middle, and you want to make sure you don't lead them too much, where they're running into a linebacker, they could give them a pretty solid hit there. But sometimes doesn't match up quite well and had an incompletion, but they're right back going for it on this fourth down.
Yep, 4th and 6 from the 21. Offense stays out there. Jennings looking downfield. He's going to try and get it himself, and he will. He gets bumped out of bounds by Eli Rathburn, but not before he will move the sticks.
And that's the conundrum that a lot of defenses find themselves in when they run up against a quarterback with the speed that Jennings has. When you play man-to-man, which it looks like Lancaster's in here, we watch on the replay, all the DBs have their back turned to Jennings as he's running. So he recognizes that, takes one look, sees that there's nobody on the perimeter, gets to the outside, able to get the first down despite Lancaster having pretty good coverage on all the receivers, but they're in man-to-man. There's not much they can do.
I said, is there any way you can defend that?
Not really.
And that catch is made inside the 10-yard line. And that was pulled in by Javion Edwards.
Jennings' pass is complete. Javion
And
Edwards.
there'll be a pickup of 7 there on first down.
Watch the replay again here. You see Jennings again. He just delivers a very solid football. Able to step into his throws. Reads defense as well. Had a couple guys on slants there. Took the outside. Makes a nice completion. Sets up 2nd and 2.
Jennings looking for the end zone. It is caught. Wow. Touchdown. And there with the reception was Joseph Spann, who's come on as of late and gets the Raiders on the board first.
And you saw, that's just textbook. If you look at the talents of Dijon Jennings here, we saw him running around in this one. He just puts a perfect spot. Exactly where the receiver has to have it right there, away from the defender. Spann's able to go up, make a catch above the shoulders, and get the touchdown.
Now Reynoldsburg will attempt the conventional point after the muddle huddle formation, or swinging gate, if you will. Landon Mears on to attempt the extra point. It is good. So with 1:46 to go in the first quarter, it's now Reynoldsburg 7, Lancaster nothing.
Lancaster
And on that drive, Josh, you could see again, there's just so many ways that the Raiders can beat you. You know, they have obviously Marquez Gillum is going to be a guy that attracts a lot of attention, had a big play on that drive. But then you had a couple guys that haven't seen a whole lot of action either in Spann and Edwards, who made some key catches on that one. They've got other great receivers, Donovan Reed, Troy Martin, that have been fantastic throughout the season. So they'll eventually get in the mix. They've got a couple good running backs. Didn't really call their name much, but again, just so many weapons that the Gales have to be worried about tonight. So this defense is going to have its hands full.
Yeah, Coach Brian Schoonover of Lancaster was spot on when he says Reynoldsburg has playmakers all over the place and are extremely difficult to defend.
To say
spot
the
on.
least. To say the least.
So we'll see if the Gales have an answer on offense after spotting Reynoldsburg 7. Gales had a promising first drive, but it was stalled by penalties once they crossed midfield. And it'll be Nasir Robinson taking this one from the 12. Trying to go straight upfield, and he'll get another decent return out just shy of the 35-yard line. Good starting field position for the Gales on offense. Mentioned Nasir Robinson having the kick return for a score last week. Also had a $120 on the ground on 19 carries.
Yeah, he did, and he also had a 76-yarder against Central Crossing, got caught at the 9-yard line. But a guy that, you know, again, has that explosive capability, big play capability for the Gales. Somebody that they got to get involved, not only in the offense, but also in the kicking game and the return game. Is just going to be imperative, and hopefully for the Gales, they'll hope to see him break one at least at some point tonight.
Second possession for the Gales. And a lengthy opening drive that ultimately came up with no points. Robinson will go under center. Here's Locke, and Locke gets it flipped over. Like a Friday night WWE move right there.
Like he suplexed him over the play there. Goodness gracious.
It's going to be near another first down. Locke got flipped over, and he's not a small young man either as we get another look at that.
Well, that's just a classic case of low man wins. And, wow, number 21, Alex Crump Winston just comes up and delivers the blow, upends Locke. But not after close to a first down, second and short.
And Locke's 195 pounds, too. He gets another carry this time. He gets a first down and ran over a defender in the process. I wonder what the conversation's like back in the huddle after you get flipped like that.
Hey, man, you okay?
Yeah, exactly. So the Gales pick up a first down as we are inside of a minute to play in the opening quarter. And Gundy will hand off. It's Peden, and Peden will get to the 45 before the Raiders are throwing backwards.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Josh. I've liked the way that the Gales have incorporated Peden in the offense and some different varieties and such. I guess one of the good things that they kind of stumbled into when they had some injuries, Peden missed the game there, but Locke and Robinson were able to do such a fantastic job, and they said, hey, they've got the hot hand. We're going to continue to feed them, get them the ball, but allows, the talented players that they have in the offense, like Peden and other folks, able to use them in different areas while the defenses are focusing on Locke and Robinson largely.
Indeed, and you're covering for the fact that you lost also Sampson with a hand injury. Caleb Sampson broke his hand. So, sometimes by necessity you find different pieces and, get those to work in coordination. As we have reached the end of the first quarter with the score Reynoldsburg 7, Lancaster nothing. We're glad you've joined us on the Buffalo Wild Wings Game of the Week, whether you're watching on Spectrum Channel 1021 in the greater Fairfield County area or the Interface Video Productions Facebook page or CLN Your Hometown Connection on YouTube. We want to thank you for watching tonight and glad we can bring this one to you. And good matchup between these two OCC schools, Lancaster 3-4, Reynoldsburg 2-4. And, really, if you look at the two schedules, kind of deceiving those records, especially Reynoldsburg. coming in 2-4. They had one game canceled by COVID, but 3 of their 4 losses have come by 4 points combined. As there you get a chance to see who they've played. Upper Arlington undefeated, Huber Heights, Wayne, Massillon, Washington, and then Olentangy. It's a lot of good teams on that schedule.
Yeah, I was going to say that, Josh. Not only are they close losses, but they're losses against very good football programs. I mean, fantastic football programs. So they're a team that has a lot of confidence despite their record. And a team that still, quite frankly, feels that they can win the league. I saw a quote from Coach White earlier this week that said, hey, we are still looking at a league championship to play for. They think if they win the rest of their games, which of course are all league games because they're 2-0 in the league, they could pull this out. If they're now they'd have a tough one at the end there. You see, Pick Central. That's not going to be a cakewalk by any stretch of the imagination. But again, just talking, they're a team with a lot of confidence that feels that they can do some big things still.
And we'll talk about Lancaster's schedule, pretty similar, too, with the talent that they have seen early on. 3rd down, Locke on the give, and he's going to have the first down and more. Delivers a blow at the end, but he will pick up a first down as the tackle was made by Alex Crump-Whitson. There's Lancaster's schedule. We were there for Pick North, but you see 2 undefeated teams in Marysville, New Albany, Olentangy, Berlin. I mean, yeah, you could see why they're a team that's 3-4, but yet still has a chance, like Reynoldsburg, to factor into the league championship.
Yeah, because they're a team with a lot of talent, and despite losing, games to 4 teams with a combined record of 25-2, to a couple teams that are undefeated in Marysville and New Albany, but they're still a team that again has big sights. They get in the playoffs, they get in a run. And if they get the right matchups, they could still make some noise.
And Gundy on the carry there, picks up about 6 on that first down run. And the other thing, too, we'll look at it later when we bring up the computer points. Both of these teams, at least Lancaster especially, chance to even host a playoff game, which you would think with a 3-4 record would be no thought with the expanded playoffs, though, a possibility.
Right. And again, that's and I'll talk about it. I'm going ad nauseum tonight. I love the expanded playoff format, because it still allows teams that may not have an opportunity to host a playoff game, to even make the playoffs, get in. But when you expand it to 16 teams, it's really just makes for so much more excitement as the season goes on.
Reynoldsburg had a player run off, maybe an equipment issue, so it'll be 2nd down and a handoff to Locke, and he won't find much running room as the defense swallowed him up. Alex Uhl among other Raiders in on the stop.
Yeah, Alex Uhl, again, a very, very strong player for the Raiders. Him and Jabari Mitchell, 2 kind of bookend folks on the outside, players on the outside for the Raiders that make it very, very tough to run on the perimeter, which is probably why you see Lancaster doing a lot of damage on the insides, trying to get the ball to Locke between the tackles. But I think Mitchell and Uhl will probably start sniffing their noses in there as the game goes on.
3rd and 3, Locke gets the toss. He'll have the first down and some more running room, and he's going to take this into the end zone. Touchdown.
Beautiful block there by Nasir Robinson. Fantastic job on the perimeter, sealing the corner as he was coming out from his slot back position. Allowed Locke to get that perimeter on the toss. We'll watch it here on the replay. Fantastic job. Look at number 7. Boom, right there. Able to get the block that springs Locke. And then Locke makes makes a defender miss there very nicely and dives his way into the end zone. Fantastic play. Fantastic drive by the Golden Gales. Nice response to that touchdown.
And key block by Riley Poston as well downfield to get Locke into the end zone as that extra point is tacked on by J.D. Thomas. And our score now with 9:20 to go in the half. It is 7-7, Lancaster and Reynoldsburg. As we see off in the distance the Columbus skyline. We saw a little bit earlier when the sun was out, but probably one of the highest points on the east side of the city. So a beautiful facility here at Reynoldsburg Stadium. My first time here, and I'm impressed with this facility. They've done a great job, and they've hats off to them as they've treated us with nothing but hospitality.
Yeah. My first time as well, Josh. And there's a few places around this city that have such a nice backdrop there. What an atmosphere to play a football game in, especially on a nice clear night like tonight. Look, as we're looking on there, you can see right to straight to downtown, see the city lights. Just beautiful. Absolutely
Indeed
beautiful.
it is.
I'm a sucker for scenery like that, so love
Me
to
too.
see stuff
right
like
there
that.
with you.
Hard to stay focused on the game. When,
Exactly.
just not look off there.
Here's Gillum.
Gales will fake the onside kick as they normally do, as Isaac Pellini has it teed up and ready to go. The dangerous Marquise Gillum, and there is a squibber, and it's loose. And a Reynoldsburg up back fell on it at the 32-yard line.
Short of recovering the onside, that's probably about the best scenario you could ask for if you're the Golden Gale special teams there, because Reynoldsburg recovers that ball at the 30-yard line, or just above the 30-yard line, the 32. So you're really not hurt that much as far as field position, and you had a chance to get a quick turnover. So not too bad. Still forcing the Raiders to go 68 yards to get a touchdown.
Well, and you talked about comparing Marquise Gillum to Tyreek Hill. Gillum, a very dangerous kick returner in his own right. So, yeah, you don't want to give him too many opportunities. Speaking of, this one's thrown in the direction of Gillum. He breaks free. It's a foot race to the 10, to the 5, and he is in. Touchdown.
Oh, my word.
Right on cue, Marquise Gillum takes it to the house.
That is a very fast young man, Josh. Very fast.
Blink and you'll miss him.
Yes, yes.
Jennings' pass is complete to Marquise Gillum.
That was about almost 70 yards on that reception.
Marquise Gillum with just otherworldly speed. I mean, my word. I mean, and
Two-point conversion.
we'll look at the replay right after we get this extra point attempt here by the Raiders. But
They're going to go for
they
two.
will.
And a
Wow.
wide open catch is made for the Deuce, as that was Joseph Spann who was there for the two-point conversion.
And here's the replay, Josh. Here you see Jennings just lets it fly. Pretty decent coverage there with the Gales number 5, Brendan Simcox, but he comes back to the ball, and once Gillum makes that catch and gets moving, you're not going to catch him on the way to the end zone. Just amazing, amazing speed.
Wise
by
of Gillum to
Explosiveness.
use the back judge a little bit as a
Yeah.
pick there to cut off the defender. So, hey, you use it all to your advantage.
I don't think he needed it, but
I don't think he
hey,
needed
if
it
it's
either.
there, why not take it?
Just happened to catch us. Like, well, hey, you use it, it's there. So just like that, Reynoldsburg puts 8 on the board, and they're back in front. That was less than a minute on all that.
Yeah, only takes one play there, but when you've got speed like that on the perimeter, and Gillum, such a fast player and such a good football player all around. Sometimes I know maybe 15, 20 years ago, guys may have looked at his size and said, "Oh, I don't know that he could play at the next level. I don't know if he could play Division I football." Holy cow! If this young man can't play Division I football, I don't know who can. I don't care how small he is. When you play the way that he plays behind his pads with that strength, with the explosiveness, and with that speed, who wouldn't want him on your team?
Absolutely. It'll be Rathburn to bring it out. And he gets out across the 20 before he is taken down. Yeah, and to your point, Gillum, 5'3", 135. Not the biggest guy, but daggone can he run.
Yes, he can run. Yeah, and that's why, we'll watch the replay here. Nice job by the Raiders covering the kick there. Lancaster tries to get some momentum going here, but he stopped. A nice hit there by the Raiders. But, again, that's why I made the comp to Tyreek Hill, because, when you look at, a guy with Tyreek Hill size, he's probably not any taller than 5'7". In NFL standards, that's like, as small as you can get. But, he's still one of the better receivers in the National Football League. And Gillum has that kind of speed when you talk about this level.
Peden gets a yard on that carry. Now we'll see how Lancaster responds after the first Reynoldsburg score. They took it down the field and punched it in. And now they'll have to do that once more. We are nearing 8.5 to play until halftime. Here's Robinson has some room, and he's got nobody in front of him, and he's going to take this one to the house. Touchdown, Lancaster.
And that's what we were talking about, Josh. Robinson with plenty of speed in his own right. Not to be outdone, he has a nice hole. I mean, you really could have drove a Mack truck through that hole, and just hits it with great speed, gets a block downfield, and just motors in for 6. So Lancaster, again, probably, had a plan to come in here and have some nice time-consuming drives, but when you've got a guy with Robinson's speed and he gets open in the open field, well, I'm sure they'll take the touchdown as well.
I think we've had 3 scores in less than 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Get your stopwatch out.
Right. Might end up with a basketball score tonight.
Timeout Lancaster, which, as we will remind you again, sponsored by the Carriage Company. Looks like the Gales may be considering going for 2. And do you like that here in this situation before halftime going for 2?
Well, I think there's a lot of football left to be played, and if it's any indication of the way these scores are going, I don't know that it's necessary unless they feel very confident in a play that they have. But hey, anything can happen in a football game. But I think if you're Lancaster, and I was going to say this right before they scored the touchdown, but they went ahead and scored. But you don't really need to try to keep up with the Gales or the Raiders, so to speak, as we watch your Robinson. Just a fantastic run, and again outruns the Reynoldsburg defenders there. Great speed. But you can still play your game. No need to try to get it all. And if you can, you'll take it. But, no need to play outside of yourself. This is still a close game. You can still try to dictate the tempo to the way that you like it. No need to panic, go for 2, anything like that. But if they feel that they can get it, we'll see if they do.
Has a feeling of whoever has the ball last might be the one winning this game.
It may be one of those nights, Josh. You're right.
Lancaster sets up for a 2-point conversion.
Van Gundy's going to give it to Locke straight ahead, and he is stacked up. Nowhere to go, so the try for 2 fails.
Stop before he reaches the end zone.
As Alex Uhl in there, among others, to stuff that play, and try for 2 goes for naught, and so it remains 15-13 Reynoldsburg. Our first half scoreboard sponsor tonight is Buckeye Toyota. Buckeye Toyota would like to wish all the local athletes best of luck this season. Buckeye Toyota is your hometown dealer that's here to help. Visit us online at mybuckeyetoyota.com. All right, everybody, take a breath. You're going to need to relax and pace yourself tonight. It's going to be one of those nights.
Yeah. Hope you got plenty of water over there, Josh.
Yeah, I may need to get a refill at halftime.
Oh. One thing I will comment about Robinson, just to harken back to his very nice run, but he is a player that has a lot of ability, and it seemed to me in the first game that we covered against Pick North that he didn't really play with a lot of confidence. Had I think a couple fumbles in that game. One of them got recovered by the Gales, but just didn't seem to play with a lot of confidence. And I think as the season has gone on, he's been a player that was just kind of used in spot duty prior to this year. And now that he's got a kind of a full plate of responsibilities and ball carrying duties, it seems to be really flourishing in that and have more confidence in his running.
Squibber fielded by an up back and out across the 30 is where Reynoldsburg will take over. And I think once again, that was Denham Craig on the return. Get some action there on special teams tonight.
And again, if you're Lancaster, you're not hurt that bad because, they're starting at the 30, 35-yard line. Still imperative that, you keep them not scoring on one play, but, you still have a pretty decent amount of field that the Raiders would have to go to score a touchdown.
Well, you can see, obviously that last score showed what Gillum can do, so you want to limit his touches if you can.
Absolutely, yep, and having a corner one-on-one with him is probably not the best use of that.
This one swung out into the flat, and getting up to the 40-yard line was Joseph Spann, who caught the 2-point conversion on the last score.
Yep, Spann getting a lot of work already. Again, a guy that has really nice size, 6'3", 185 pounds, and some pretty good speed as well. So just another great weapon. They can use him in a lot of different areas. This time he's lined up closer to the line of scrimmage, can be used as a blocker, and also vital in the passing game.
A rare handoff for Reynoldsburg and a nice run by number 6 Zion Jackson Wilburn.
Yeah, and it's easy to be lulled to sleep, because, again, all the explosiveness that they have on the outside. But Reynoldsburg has a really, really nice running game as well. You just mentioned Jackson Wilborn. He came in as their leading rusher, did a fantastic job against Upper Arlington, a game that I was able to take a little bit of a look at. Had some really nice runs with nice vision, and also has very good speed for his size. So, that just another way that the Raiders can beat you if they choose to.
Timeout taken by Reynoldsburg. By Lancaster. They've got one remaining.
Looks like an
there
injury.
you see, yes, correction on that. It is an injury timeout. As you get a look there at the Reynoldsburg huddle. Buddy White told his team that they wanted to, be looking at the big picture after they had an 0-4 start and, made some changes and really kind of reevaluated themselves and really kind of turned things around. As we saw their schedule, it was brutal to begin with, but then you started getting the league play and they kind of knew what to expect from opponents. And, to your point earlier about Lancaster's players playing with more confidence as the year goes along, seems like that has been the case for Reynoldsburg as well.
Yeah, that certainly has been the case, and I would give kudos to Coach White for a lot of things, but among other things, he seems to be a very, very effective communicator and was able to communicate to his team to say, hey, we may have started 0-4, but look at the teams that we played. We're still a good football team. The record really doesn't matter. They had the confidence to step out, play some really, really good football programs. Even though they didn't win, they still gained their confidence, kept their confidence and gained even more. And now they're playing tremendous football despite starting slow as they did. Riley
Poston, the defensive back, was the injured player who went off for Lancaster. We'll keep an eye on his status as that pass was dropped, and it'll bring up third down. In a game like this where you have a lot of good receivers, you need every defensive back you can get, and Poston, a 5'10", 170-pound senior.
Yeah, a nice play there by Gunnar Richardson as well, able to come up there. Gunnar Richards able to come up and make the deflection there. It's so important for these DBs to read and react, and it's hard to do when you're trying to play, give the Raiders enough room there so you don't get beat deep, but also not allow them to just make catches and then make runs after the catch.
Gales back out of a blitz. Jennings looking left side, and the catch is made. Nice reception there by Joseph Spann, who's having himself a good night already.
Yep, the hands on display there by Spann. Nice job. Able to snag that one in. That was not an easy throw by Jennings, but probably a smart throw. Able to put it in a good spot, but it looks like they got a flag on the play.
Yeah, looks like a lineman downfield, so legal man downfield will cost Reynoldsburg a first down. I'll back it out to the original line of scrimmage.
Completed pass, incompleted pass. What was the result of the play?
So it's a legal man downfield was the call, so it's 3rd and 8 for Reynoldsburg. Be huge for the Lancaster defense to get off the field here. Jennings looking, and he's got a man. That is Gillum on the sideline, out of bounds. First down, Reynoldsburg.
Yep, and that's the right play call there by offensive coordinator A.J. Lash. Gillum, they understand that because they just got beat on a deep route, most likely the Gale players are going to be playing off of him, so he was able to just run a 10, 11-yard speed out. Just does a great job of getting out of his break here. Jennings delivers the ball. Look at that tight spiral. Great camera work there. Gillum able to make the catch and get the first down.
Brendan Simcox on the stop there for Lancaster on that last play. Jennings going deep down the field here on first down, and a little too far for Marquise Gillum there on first down.
I didn't know it was possible to overthrow him, Josh, but he just did.
Living proof right there.
Yeah. You probably won't see that too many times.
No. Brings up second down and 10, but we haven't talked a lot about Dejon Jennings, who's been a real leader for this Reynoldsburg team and really has calmed this offense. Coach White talked about, a guy like him really helping the team during the struggle that they had at the beginning of the year. Jennings on cue will carry this one, and he will pick up 8 there on second down. He's got a lot of interest at the next level. At least 8 schools looking at him at the Division I level, several MAC schools, Wake Forest and Kentucky among those as well.
Yeah, and that's not surprising at all by Jennings. Just a fantastic football player, a great young man. But again, you talked about able to calm the offense. A lot of that has come because he's really calmed his play. Not that he was playing out of control earlier, but just doing a great job.
He's got a man wide open at the 5 and into the end zone goes Troy Martin for the score.
And right on cue, you talked about calming the offense because, he's playing more under control. And again, doesn't mean that he was playing out of control before. It just means that maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago he would have tucked this ball and tried to run it. But this time he allows his receiver to get downfield, directs him as you see, just points him to go down the field, runs around in the pocket to create some additional time, makes a long strike down the field, hits Martin right in stride, touchdown. Another score for the Raiders.
Jennings also a 3-year starter. In fact, got some time even as a freshman. So, having that leadership, that poise, a lot of that comes with experience too. As the extra point is up and good by Landon Myers. And it is now 22-13. Reynoldsburg with 6:17 to go until halftime. Lots of scoring in this one tonight, and not necessarily a surprise. I mean, Reynoldsburg averages 34.8 per game. Lancaster scoring about 21 per game. Both teams giving up in the 20s on defense per game. So, par for the course so far.
Yeah, it really has been. And you can see with Reynoldsburg, even, in their losses, they were able to put up a lot of points on the board. You talked about it earlier, Josh. Put up points against Washington Massillon and Wayne Huber Heights. Just, no matter where they're at, they feel that they can score, football, and you can understand why with the weapons and the talent that they have on the offensive side of the football. They are right to be confident and feel like they can play with and beat anybody on any given night. And if they continue to play like this, who's to say that they can't go have a deep run into the playoffs, because they have a lot of talent on offense.
They're trying to win their 3rd straight, which they haven't done since 2019. That year they went 5-0 to start the year, but ended at 7-4. Trying to reverse that trend, and after a sluggish start, finish strong. And it's going to be Rathburn taking it inside the 5 on the kick return. And he will get out to the 25. Pyle pushed forward across the 30-yard line, so another decent return for the Gales. And they will start with 6:08 to go, just one timeout remaining. But 6 minutes with the way that Lancaster's offense rolls could be plenty of time to get it to halftime.
Yeah, it sure could. And again, it's not just Robinson. I know he's the guy, probably the guy with the most speed, perhaps the most athleticism as well. But Lancaster has a lot of other players that can play and make big plays. We just saw Rathburn on that return. He's a guy with a lot of speed. We've already seen what Locke can do. So don't blink, because this Lancaster offense could score just as quickly as Reynoldsburg does.
And Gundy's going to keep it, and he will get a couple of yards. Falls to the 34-yard line. Guy who didn't really have to do anything last week in the air against Groveport. Only attempted one pass, and years past that was really typical for Lancaster, but they've kind of opened it up a little bit more, at least for Lancaster, opening it up a little bit this year.
Yeah, they have, and I think it's been to their credit. I think versatility in your offense is always going to be helpful, regardless of what you're doing.
Peden on the carry, leaps over a defender, and he gets to the 38-yard line. He'll make it 3rd and short for the Gales.
And again, what you're seeing here, again, the backs are running very hard, getting chunk plays here. Nice job here. But also the offensive line, as we'll watch here on the replay. We don't have to. Oh, here it is. Yeah, we see the replay. But the offensive line for the Gales doing a nice job of controlling the line of scrimmage, getting some push, which is not easy to do because Reynoldsburg has a lot of good size on their defensive front. But Lancaster's front is doing a nice job.
And here's a handoff to Nasir Robinson, and he is real close to the first down marker. Had to get to the 41, and they're already moving the chains.
Yeah, nice looking inside counter there. It's a really, really good play call. He will have the first down, but Robinson, again, just very, very strong, tough running inside the tackles. I don't know that we'd seen that in the previous years in his career or even earlier this season. I've just been so pleased to see him not only just use his speed on the perimeter, but also run tough, get hard yards inside the tackles.
A.J. Locke will carry it to the 44-yard line. That's a lot of what this offense can do is it's 2 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, and then they pop one for 30 or 40.
Yep, and that's by design. And again, it's kind of like they said in Remember the Titans, like Novocaine, just give it time, right?
That's exactly what I was thinking, actually.
Great minds, great minds.
Absolutely. Great movie as well. 2nd and 7. Robinson on the jet sweep, and he's going to bounce off a defender but have nowhere to run. Good job to stretch that out by Chris Carr to make the tackle.
By Chris Carr.
And they'll bring up 3rd down and long, and down the distance the Gales don't like to be in.
It's a replay. Again, yeah, a lot of penetration there by the Gales, or I'm sorry, excuse me, the Raiders. Linebackers look like they're getting a really good read on the cadence there, so it would be a nice opportunity for the Gales to maybe switch up that cadence, try to draw an offside penalty, or at least slow down these defenders.
Van Gundy drops back, throws it deep downfield, incomplete. Was trying to find Rathburn. Van Gundy had some pressure in his face and probably got rid of that one a little earlier than he would like to have.
Yeah, and again, I think this time it was the defensive line that was the culprit, but I just think that the Gales would have benefited from maybe switching up their cadence a little bit and not allowing these defenders to kind of tee off, especially when they're calling running plays and passing plays where the linemen aren't firing off the ball. You know, they just had a jet sweep on the perimeter. Tough sometimes for the linemen to get their reach blocks when you have defensive linemen and linebackers that are jumping the snap count. And, of course, when you're pass blocking, setting back, if you've got a lineman coming in, kind of getting into you early before you get your set, that can make it difficult.
Dickerson punts this one and intentionally punting it away from Gillum. And we'll see where they spot this one. Stepping it off from the 30 and kind of going up near the 40, 41.
Ball will be placed at the Raider
I don't know if it's just me, but
41 line.
had the Mountain Climber theme song from Price is Right in my head as they were walking up the sideline. It's kind of what it reminds me of when they walk all the way back up from the.
Showing your age, Josh.
I know.
Showing your age, sir.
It's like, what is that? Go look it up on YouTube.
That's right.
So good field position for the Raiders at the 41-yard line. Not that they've needed a whole lot of help on offense. Jennings finds Gillum at the 45, shakes, but cannot get away from a defender. He'll have enough for real close, at least, to a first down.
Again, a pretty nice, pretty good job, by Gunnar Richards. Above all else, you want to keep Gillum in front of you. And even though, he runs that stick yard stop, once he catches the football, he's just as dangerous as he is on a streak pattern or anything else. So you've got to stay with him. You've got to watch his hips, not let him juke you or kind of get you out of the box there and make a good sound tackle. Richards was able to get him out of bounds on that one, even though it was a first down for the Raiders.
Raiders slowing it down a little bit. We're inside of 3 minutes to play in the half. Jennings being flushed, and he will go down. Run down from behind by Sam Fink, the 6'1", 200-pound senior linebacker.
Yeah, Fink makes a great play on this one. Watch here on the replay. Just gets around the block and able to bring Jennings down, which is not an easy feat. Jennings is a good-sized kid, 6 foot 185, and he plays very strong, runs very hard. But Fink able to run him down on that one and get the sack for the Gales.
A rare tackle for loss for the Gales tonight. 2nd and 12. Jennings has Gillum with a little bit of running room, and he'll have the first down.
Jennings' pass is complete to Gillum.
As making the stop on defense for Lancaster was Gunnar Richards.
Gunnar Richards, but not before the Raiders pick up another.
And that's the thing about Gillum as well. Again, it's not like he's just a fast guy that can just run a go pattern. You know, we've seen him a couple times. He's run really nice routes, digs over the middles, ran the speed out, and the other one got the first down. Runs very crisp, sound, concise routes. Gets in and out of his breaks very quick. I mean, he is very quick, but just a complete receiver that can do a lot of things on the football field.
And not afraid to go over the middle either.
Not at all.
And there's a screen pass set up well, and some running room. And there is Troy Martin on the reception as he takes it down to the 25-yard line. Another first down for the Raiders.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful play call. If you see, they saw Gillum coming in motion. We'll watch it here on the replay. And everybody in the building thinks they're going to throw the swing pass to Gillum. But then nevertheless, they bring the rocket screen underneath with Troy Martin able to run, get some key yardage, and Lancaster's fortunate that 24 Richards was able to bring him down before that play went for even more yardage than it did.
Gales will burn their final timeout with 1:12 until halftime, which gives us an opportunity to remind you the halftime band show is coming up, being brought to you by the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Crematory and Monuments, family owned and operated since 1889. Check them out at funeralhome.com. The Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, respect for tradition, regard for change. Also by Fairfield Federal. When it comes to our customers in our community, we go above and beyond to help, personal or business banking, whatever you need. We take it seriously because we know you do too. The difference is clear. Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan specializes in banking that revolves around you. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Well, Josh, I know it's a tall order for the Gale defense here, but on the 25-yard line going in, if they could keep the Raiders out of the end zone, that would be a huge thing, a huge piece of momentum for them going into the half. But with 1 minute, 12 seconds to go, that is a very, very big ask.
And 3 timeouts to boot. And a screen pass set up, and a catch is made by Donovan Reed. Ball may have come out the end. It's loose. And the Gales say they have it, and the officials say yes, they do. A huge turnover as the Gales come away with it.
We're going to see the replay here, Josh. There's 2 parts of this. The first part of is number 66, Jacob Rohr, getting him on the ground, also Richards. And the second part there is number 44, that's A.J. Locke, tackling the football. And that's, again, you always want to see a defense when they swarm tackle like that. The first guy comes in, gets him held up. If he's still up in the air, the second guy comes through and tackles the football, tries to take it. Beautiful job of execution on that right there. And the Gales had the football back, and they got their stop right before the half.
A.J. Locke coming up with the big play on defense, and he'll trot back out with the offense. 1st and 10 from the 15. Gales out of timeouts, though. Nasir Robinson gets the carry, and he'll get a yard. And Buddy White says, yes, give me a timeout with 55 seconds to go.
Tackled by the interior of the Raider line.
Yeah, Buddy White wants to obviously give his offense, or try to give his offense another shot, because rather they've got 5 seconds, 15 seconds. He feels confident that they can score from anywhere at any time. So all it takes is for him to get the football back before the half to have another opportunity to score, and they're going to be aggressive with that, assuming that they can stop this Lancaster offense and get a 3 and out.
So knowing that, if you are Lancaster, does that change your play call any? Do you try and throw the ball any, or are you still just going to run it and make Reynoldsburg burn their timeouts?
Well, I run it and make Reynoldsburg burn their timeouts, largely because they haven't really proven that they could stop the run that well. I mean, Lancaster on that first drive really shot themselves in the foot. Otherwise, they were moving the ball very well, not calling a whole lot of pass plays. And on their other 2 scores, of course, they were able to move the ball, the one really, really long run by Robinson. So when you have the confidence in your running game like that, heck, doesn't hurt to just keep running the football. Maybe you can break a big play anyway.
On 2nd down, it's going to be a carry again by Locke. They'll bring up 3rd down as Reynoldsburg will burn their 2nd timeout with 50 seconds remaining.
Raiders call a timeout.
1 more to go, and it'll all depend on whether Lancaster picks up the first down here on third down or not. Give you a couple of scores from around the area at the half. Liberty Union leads Fairfield Union 13-0. Give you some OCC scores. Pickerington Central on top of Groveport, 16-0 in the second. Pickerington North leading Grove City 28-0, also in the second. And Clear Creek leading Taze Valley 14-7 in the second quarter. Big game, of course, coming up next week. Taze Valley and Bloom Carroll could be a pair of undefeated teams, but Taze Valley's got to take care of business tonight for that to happen. Looking for Bloom Carroll's score. Try and get that here momentarily. I can tell you Fisher Catholic leads Miller 7-0. It's in the first quarter. Bloom Carroll in the first quarter 35-0 over Loganell.
Oh, okay then.
So they're taking care of business.
Yeah, they are. You could say that.
3rd and 4. Here's Locke on the carry. He's not going to get anywhere. Actually, in fact, will lose a yard back to the 21. And Reynoldsburg will take their final timeout with 43 ticks remaining.
Yeah, fantastic job by Reynoldsburg, specifically, the linebacking core there really answered the bell, able to pursue, despite having the first couple runs inside the tackles. On that third one, they tried that quick toss to Locke, which Lancaster has had some success with, able to score on that run play, but the Raiders not fooled at all on that play, able to force a fourth down and hold to get the ball back for their offense.
Well, you have to think that Lancaster's going to try and kick away from Marquise Gillum.
Yeah, and that's the conundrum that you're always in, because you don't want to put too much pressure on your punter, to say don't kick it to him. You don't want the guy to kick the ball straight out of bounds. You still want to try to get as much field position as you can, but you also don't want the ball in the hands of number 10 at all. So, I do respect Lancaster for doing the smart thing, trying to keep the ball away from him. We'll see if they continue to do that on this one. But the field position is still very important, as always is.
And there's Colt Dickerson, who's got a big challenge here, trying to keep it out of Gillum's hands. Dickerson gets this one off, a high end-over-end kick, and Gillum bobbles it. And he falls on it at midfield. May have been disrupted by A.J. Locke, who ran right by him as the ball was coming to him, and may have momentarily distracted Marquise.
Yeah, it looked like Gillum really couldn't decide whether he wanted to try to fair catch it or try to just back away from it on that one. He probably would have done better as he's moving up and had that pursuit coming to just get away from it. Even if it takes a really, really rough bounce, you don't run the risk of turning the ball over. But they were fortunate to still get the ball here. They didn't get a bad bounce. It would have cost them another maybe 15 yards or so, and they saw the ball in a reasonable field position.
Catch is made, and wisely going out of bounds was Javion Edwards. Stops the clock with 32 seconds remaining. Pick up a 6 there on first down, or we'll say 5. Jennings looking. He's going to run it. Gets out of bounds near the 40-yard line. Looks like he had enough for a first down. Roland Boyce giving him chase there defensively. And they're going to say Jennings went out of bounds just shy of the 40 and a yard short of the first down, stopping the clock with 26 seconds.
Yeah, but I think the clock stoppage was more important to him, obviously, on that one.
Indeed. And here's a nice run, and getting out of bounds is Zion Jackson Wilborn.
Yeah, and Zion there still with very, very fresh legs, as you can see there, running extremely hard, able to break a couple tackles, which was crucial. Had he got tackled in bounds, that would have cost some crucial time, but he was able to break the tackles and get out of bounds and still get the first down.
Clock stop with 20 seconds as Jennings gets the snap. Has all day to throw and throws it too high, intended for Gillum, as he was hit right away by Brendan Simcox, and Gillum is down.
He took a rough hit to his hip
Jennings'
area.
pass falls incomplete.
And I can tell you that is a painful place to get hit, especially when you're extended like that, going up for a high pass. As you can see here, ball sails a little bit on Jennings, and he is just upended, hit right in his hip and upper thigh area, and that is not a good place to receive a hit.
Gillum being attended to on the far side of the field. There you see head coach Buddy White, the center of your screen. Boy, you just hate to see injuries to anybody in a situation like this, but certainly a talented player like Gillum.
Yeah, and things like that, especially when you see a hit, you pray and you pray and you pray that it's not a serious injury that could seriously diminish this young man's potential to play at the next level, because he certainly has the talent and ability to do so. But that is a really, really, really rough hit and a tough place to beat it.
He is popping up and jogging over to the sideline, so maybe just able to get it worked out. They were working on him a little bit, the training staff, and maybe they need to get some things massaged back into place, or how that goes.
Yeah, they're trying to. That's some great camera work there by our crew to kind of look. He doesn't even look to be in that much pain. Okay, maybe he is.
I was gonna say, maybe getting to the sidelines looked like a little grimace on his face.
Right. Okay. Yeah. It looks like he is there. At first, I thought he was just kind of, hey, get me back in there. But yeah, he looks like he is in some pain there.
Play resumes. Catch is made by Edwards, and he is taken down inside the 10-yard line. Clock stopped temporarily with 7 seconds.
I'll try to spike.
And they get it spiked and stopped with 5 seconds to go. Now they're going to run the field goal team on.
I'm actually a tad bit surprised, Josh. I thought they might take one more strike at it. Throw the ball in the end zone, see what happens, because, again, this is a very, very aggressive offense. But, they still have a 9-point lead. The offense is playing really well. They were able to get the ball back, and getting 3 points on the board to go up by 12, 2 touchdowns, what have you, is still a good opportunity. But it looks like they may be backed up here.
Got dead ball. Illegal procedure, Reynoldsburg.
The illegal procedure will back it up, and you and I have talked about it. Sometimes 5 yards is a huge difference in the kicking game at the high school level.
Oh yes, it is. It can be a big difference at any level, but specifically at the high school level, regardless of where you're at, it just doesn't take much. So it's really important to be sound on the line of scrimmage.
Landon Myers from 32 yards. Kick is on the way, has plenty of leg, and it is good. And that will take us to halftime. With the score, Reynoldsburg 25, Lancaster 13. Stay tuned. The halftime band show is coming up next. You are watching the IVP Sports Buffalo Wild Wings Game of the Week.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Fairfield Medical Center, Park National Bank, Dagger Law, the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, Standing Stone Bank, Fairfield DD, North Body Shop, Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, the Edwards Insurance Agency, Buckeye Toyota, the Carriage Company, Huddle Tire and Auto, the Fairfield County Commissioner's Office, South Central Power, Sheridan Funeral Home, and Buckeye Lake Marina.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Fairfield Medical Center took care of me like I was family.
I was made to feel like I was the only person that they were going to see that day, even though I knew that wasn't the case.
Everyone at Fairfield Medical Center was very attentive. They just put my mind at ease.
I was there for 12 days, and I felt comfortable there.
We were people to them, not a number. They took the time to get to know us, our personalities.
Well, they saved my life. You know, how do you beat that?
I don't know how I could have gotten through it without them.
Experience Fairfield Medical Center.
The Decorative Arts Center of Ohio offers amazing tours of the historic Reese Peters House, along with art classes, exhibits, and public programs. Hi, this is Jason Crable with the Decorative Arts Center of Ohio. This month, we are very grateful to be chosen as a recipient of Buckeye Toyota's Buckeye Cares program. That means Buckeye Toyota will make a generous donation with every vehicle they sell this month. Thank you, Buckeye Toyota, for helping our community.
Thank you for calling Buckeye Toyota. How may I help you?
Come experience the Huddle Tire difference. Locally owned and operated since 1910, we're your independent tire and auto repair shop. We carry all major brands of tires, including Goodyear, Cooper, BF Goodrich, and many more. But we're more than just tires. From safety inspections to alignments, brakes, shocks, and struts, even preventive maintenance, we can handle it all. Enjoy the ride at Huddle Tire Company, 300 South Columbus Street, or we can be reached at our website at huddletire.com.
Lender, craftsman, dog dad. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number.
Let's give another show of support for the 2021 Lancaster High School Band of Gold. The band is under the direction of Mr. Benjamin Factor, Assistant Director Mr. Jared Smith, Percussion Instructor Mr. Jay Fant, and Color Guard Instructor Ms. Britt Tisdale. Last Saturday, the Band of Gold began their competition season with superior ratings at the Marietta and Warren competitions, qualifying them for participation at State Marching Band Finals for the 40th time. We would like to thank the Reynoldsburg Band for their hospitality this evening and wish them the best for a great rest of their season.
Ladies and gentlemen, under the direction of Mr. Jason Gibson, Field Commanders Evan Green and Allison Lieber, Reynoldsburg High School is proud to present your 2021 Raider Marching Pride! For tonight's performance, the Raider Marching Pride will be performing their contest show entitled Angels and Demons. Selections being performed this evening include Chorale and Alleluia, Night Watch, Journey of Man, and Battlefield. Our soloists this evening include Melania Mogg and Gina Freitas. Now, ladies and gentlemen, sit back and enjoy Angels and Demons. The Raider Marching Pride would like to congratulate Lancaster Golden Gales Marching Band on their wonderful performance. We would like to wish them the best of luck in the rest of their marching season.
Life is unpredictable. That's why estate planning is important. Estate planning provides you comfort and peace of mind knowing that you're taking care of your loved ones and ensuring your legacy lives on just as you envisioned. You lived a life that is beautifully and uniquely yours. You deserve an estate planning attorney who understands that and creates a plan as unique as you and in the best interest of your loved ones. You deserve the local, trusted, experienced attorneys at Dagger Law.
Swing into the Carriage Company and check out our sweet deals.
If you're looking for the best selection of clean, quality used vehicles, look no further than the Carriage Company. You'll feel secure with your purchase, knowing all vehicles undergo an extensive safety and service check prior to the sale. And all vehicles can be viewed online at carriagecompany.com. The Carriage Company, located at 1031 North Memorial Drive in Lancaster.
So wait! Lender, craftsman, dog dad. We're more than our job titles, and you're more than an account number. The personal attention we provide comes from a promise to serve you with respect and compassion. By being responsive to your questions and taking time to understand your needs and goals, we give you more than just a place to bank. That's the more you can expect from Park National Bank. Find John or a banker near you at parknationalbank.com. Park National Bank, where you mean more.
Hi, I'm Carol Whittington, and I would like to invite you to stop by Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, located at 1540 Hubbard Drive in Lancaster. We are a small family-owned business and have been servicing the Central Ohio and Hocking Hills area since 2003. Graduations with a personal touch, weddings with a personal touch, corporate events with a personal touch. Please call us today for all your party rental needs, 740-689-6991.
Ernest Elton Keaton, Ernie, 11th month, 15th day of 1947. I have a very interesting life. I worked for 51 years. It just come to me, what I wanted to do. Come a long way with all the pictures and stuff. I enjoy doing it to make people not sad, but happy. You know, and I have. I'm trying to do the best I can, be kind to people and everything. So I try my very best to do what's right and not wrong. It'd be a boring world if everybody did be everything. Same thing, same lights, you know. It'd be a boring world, I think.
That make this season possible.
Hi, Kristen Glazier with Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, and we are here to provide compassionate end-of-life care, comfort, and relief for those experiencing grief in our community. This month, we are very grateful to be chosen as a recipient of Buckeye Toyota's Buckeye Cares program. That means that Buckeye Toyota will make a very generous donation with every vehicle they sell this month. Thank you, Buckeye Toyota, for helping our community.
Thank you for calling Buckeye Toyota. How may I help you?
Being a first-time parent is very nerve-wracking going into the hospital. You don't really know what to expect. The nurses, the staff, the doctors, everyone at Fairfield Medical Center was very attentive. They just put my mind at ease. They answered any questions we asked. They supported us through the whole delivery, the post-delivery, our stay in the hospital. We felt like we were part of their family. I wouldn't have put myself or my daughter in anybody else's hands. Experience Fairfield Medical Center.
Come experience the Huddle Tire difference. Locally owned and operated since 1910, we're your independent tire and auto repair shop. We carry all major brands of tires, including Goodyear, Cooper, BF Goodrich, and many more. But we're more than just tires. From safety inspections to alignments, brakes, shocks, and struts, even preventive maintenance, we can handle it all. Enjoy the ride at Huddle Tire Company, 300 South Columbus Street, or we can be reached at our website at huddletire.com.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Fairfield Medical Center, Park National Bank, Dagger Law, the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, Standing Stone Bank, Fairfield DD, North Body Shop, Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, the Edwards Insurance Agency, Buckeye Toyota, the Carriage Company, Huddle Tire and Auto, the Fairfield County Commissioner's Office, South Central Power, Sheridan Funeral Home, and Buckeye Lake Marina.
Welcome back to Reynoldsburg Stadium as we start the second half. Reynoldsburg leading Lancaster 25-13. Josh Mesterly, Marion Royster. Boy, an interesting first half for sure, Marion. Let's take a look at the first half stats. And kind of as you expected, a lot of passing for Reynoldsburg, a lot of rushing for Lancaster.
Yeah, but Lancaster, again, obviously, they have their hands full on defense with the passing attack from the Raiders, but they've got to be happy about their rushing attack on offense. Had it not been for a couple penalties on that first drive, I think they could have continued to rush on that drive and get some additional points on the board. But 8 first downs of 14 first downs. Again, Reynoldsburg got to be happy with what they're doing. The one turnover that stopped perhaps another touchdown right before the half, but they've really been able to do whatever they wanted offensively, and that's really been the difference in the game.
Not to mention time of possession in favor of Lancaster, 16 minutes, just a little over 7 minutes for Reynoldsburg as the Gales kick off to start the second half, and falling on at the 19-yard line is an upback for Reynoldsburg. That is Trayon Spencer. So we've seen that a lot from Lancaster, trying to stay away from Marquise Gillum, and this time it actually pays off pretty well for the Gales as they back up Reynoldsburg a little bit.
Yeah. Again, the Gales continue to be fortunate in the kickoff game, despite going with the squib kicks, being able to cover those pretty well and not getting it to Gillum or not allowing Gillum to get the ball and perhaps make a big play. But an encouraging sight for the Raiders to have Gillum back on the field on that kickoff return, and I'm sure he'll be here on offense as well.
As he gets the first carry, puts it on the turf, but gets it right back. And he is run out of bounds at the 15-yard line by Rathburn. That thing bounced right up like a basketball back into his lap after he bobbled it.
Absolutely fortuitous bounce we'll see here on the replay. But kudos to the Lancaster linebackers here. As you can see here, good penetration, able to strip the ball there. Fantastic job by number 80, who is Aiden Rangs. Wonderful job. But again, fortunate bounce there for Gillum to get it back up and still keep the possession for the Raiders.
Again, good to see Gillum back as he went off late in the first half. Jennings steps up, throws it deep downfield, and incomplete. Trying to connect with Spann. And Jennings was real close to the line of scrimmage to see if he was across that.
Holding Reynoldsburg. And he grabbed a lot of jersey.
And that was David Pitkin telling you descriptively that it was a hold against Reynoldsburg.
Don't have to be too descriptive just to say he grabbed a lot of jersey, right? That's exactly what happened. But again, you can see there, even though that was an incomplete pass, fantastic job there by Jennings, able to direct the offense, move around in the pocket. And I mentioned it before, just the patience not to take off on the run. Not that he can't do that, because, you know, Lord knows that he could get an additional 5-6 yards just with his legs, but taking a shot downfield because he knows the game plan of this offense to be aggressive, take those shots down the field, and try to get those long passes.
Certainly wisdom comes with experience, and Jennings has that, being a multi-year starter. He's under pressure here on third down. The Gales get to him. As in there to make the play defensively was Jacob Rohr, number 66, a 6'1", 230-pound senior. He's all fired up, and the Gales defense fired up because they just stopped the Raiders to start the second half.
As well they should be. Rohr has had a pretty good game thus far. Has made a couple nice plays. And on this one, as good as they come, does a great job of getting around the center and is able to really corner Jennings so he can't get around him. Doesn't get juked in the backfield, able to get him down on the ground for a big sack.
Ibrahim Fall punting for the first time tonight. And a room here on the run is by Roby down the sidelines. He's got a block and a flag thrown in as he's tackled inside the 5-yard line. And we'll see what the flags
35.
are about. They're all
Walk
over the
away.
place. As it was back by the 18-yard line, the officials are talking about it. It's a big call in this game.
Yeah, it looks like they may have gotten Reynoldsburg with some sort of either face mask or a horse collar or some
So
sort
an
of.
illegal block.
Or no, excuse me, it sounds like an illegal block.
Maybe a blindside block. You get those a lot on special teams. Ball's resting at the 5-yard line right now. The question is, what direction will it go? We're waiting to see the call. The officials trying to sort it all out. Might be multiple penalties on this play.
Could be.
Who was it on? The return team? Return team. Okay, personal foul. Blindsided block. Lancaster.
It's a blindside block against Lancaster.
Yeah, you called it here, and that's really an unfortunate circumstance for the Gales. It negates this beautiful return here by David Roby. Nice job of setting up his blocks. He gets the corner. Could have possibly gotten an additional block there by Eli Rathburn. I'm still trying to see the illegal. Oh, that might be the illegal block that came in just at the end there. Wasn't sure. It looked like it might have been Luke Peden. I didn't catch the number. It might have been 26, but nevertheless, you saw there at the very end, just kind of came in that it just, probably didn't have to do it because he was gonna, he was kind of forced to the sideline by the defenders there, but nevertheless, it backs up the Gales when they could have had it inside the 10.
Instead, they have it about the 33. Van Gundy going to tuck it and run and get barely back to the line of scrimmage before he was taken down. In there making the play was Anthony Mobley. Talked about him moving positions, going from defensive end to linebacker, and really some shifting on the defense by Reynoldsburg has kind of led to some better play defensively, moving Keyshawn Slaughter from outside to inside. And of course, he's been relatively quiet tonight. We called him early on, but Slaughter, give Gales a lot of credit. They've kept him in check.
Yeah, he had a couple big plays earlier, but hadn't had much. But trying to figure him out where best to place him has been a real challenge. He didn't play at all for the Raiders last year. Nice run here.
Here's A.J. Locke going to have a first down inside the 20-yard line as he's pulled down. A.J. Locke running hard tonight, and in fact, talk about Coach Schoonover said that he's been an impressive player in the last few weeks. He's come on offensively, hasn't missed a beat, and didn't miss a beat on this play.
Yeah, and does a nice job of setting up his blocks there, patience there, and bounces to the outside at the perfect time. Nice run.
Back to live action. Robinson puts it on the turf, and it is recovered by Reynoldsburg. Not sure if that was maybe a bad exchange on the handoff.
Looked like he really didn't get an opportunity to really get it and put it away. As soon as he received the handoff, he had a defender in the backfield, right in his face, and sometimes that just throws off the ball carrier just enough that they're worried about pushing the defender away or the blocker trying to block the defender away, and don't really focus on ball security like they should. And I think that's what happened on that play to Robinson.
So even turnovers now, 1 apiece after that fumble. It sets up Reynoldsburg relatively close to where they had it to start the last drive. And here's a handoff left side, and breaking some tackles is Jackson Wilborn. And he's going to have it out to the 32-yard line for a first down.
Yeah, the Raiders would do well to really feed Zion Jackson Wilborn here in the second half. He didn't have a whole lot of carries in the first half, but he is a very, very talented, hard, strong runner that I think can milk a lot of this time here. And there he is again.
He carries the mail here. He's going to have a first down and more into Lancaster territory, slung down inside the 40.
Yeah, fantastic job there by Wilburn again. But, we'll take a look at this replay again here, Josh. And you see here the ball's just coming out almost immediately as Robinson gets that handoff. He's slung to the ground on the floor there. Raiders able to recover before the Gales even really know what hit him.
Jackson Wilborn on that last carry picks up 6 yards, brings up 2nd and 4. He'll get it again. And he's being featured on this series, and why not? He picks up another first down for the Raiders. Actually, that's check that, number 32. That is James Williams, a 5'6" junior.
Yeah, again, a very talented stable of running backs here with Wilborn, Williams, and also Crawford Smith, Jeremiah Crawford Smith, who also will get some action here, I'm sure.
And Crawford Smith had a couple of touchdowns last week against Newark. A swing pass to Span down the sideline, tight rope, and is he in? Yes, touchdown Raiders.
Nice job of breaking tackles there by Joseph Span.
Let's see, is there a flag down? The officials have not moved, and this one may be coming back. Holding against Reynoldsburg, so take the points off the board. Did not see where that flag was thrown. So that'll bring it back out to the 33-yard line.
Yeah, and we talked about it before, Josh. You're asking a lot of your receivers when you run a lot of those bubble screens, rocket screens, wide receiver screens, whatever have you. The other receiver on the perimeter has to hold that block for a long time. You're asking guys that don't do that normally to do it.
Jennings throwing deep down the sideline. What a catch inside the 5-yard line by Javion Edwards.
Gosh, and they just come at you in waves, don't they? I mean, the Raiders, when you think, you just got them boxed in, you've got them set back, and then all of a sudden you've got Javion Edwards running down the sideline free, a guy with a lot of speed as well. There's just so much speed at so many positions for this Raider team.
First and goal, and working his way into the end zone for the score is James Williams. He would not be denied.
Nice job in between the tackles there by Williams. Williams, a junior on this Raider team. A guy, again, that hasn't had a whole lot of action carrying the ball, but still talented in his own right, able to run very strong. A big guy, runs well between the tackles at 210 pounds, able to power it in for 6 on that one.
And the kick is up and good. And it makes the score now 32-13 in favor of Reynoldsburg. Let's take a look now at the Division I Region 3 computer points as we are now in week number 8 of the high school football season. Both these teams are in Region 3. As there's a look at Reynoldsburg's schedule, you see why they've had a struggle at 2-4 on the year. And again, next week they are home to Central Crossing and at Pickerington Central.
Yeah, but despite, again, that record of 2-4, because their schedule was so difficult, they're still sitting at number 13 in their region number 3. So, yeah, and here we go here. Yeah, we'll look at this in the computer points. 3.556. Reynoldsburg's still in the hunt there. You know, again, they figure they can get a couple big wins, especially if they're able to knock off Pick Central later on the season. They could shoot up that chart really quickly and even possibly get themselves in position for a home game, depending on how the rest of it works out.
Even a win tonight with Lancaster, too, gives them a lot of points.
Absolutely,
and
yeah.
Lancaster above them.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, Lancaster just on the outside looking in. That 8 spot and up is we will have the home games. So Lancaster trying to maintain, not doing a good job so far tonight, but at 3-4, every win so important to get that all-important home playoff game.
And head coach Buddy White called timeout, and he's out there talking to his team, not liking something he saw out of his kickoff team. So Reynoldsburg will spend a timeout, and that will come with 7:59 to go here in the third quarter, which gives us an opportunity to remind you tonight's second half scoreboard is brought to you by Buckeye Lake Marina. If you're looking for a new boat, a great pre-owned watercraft, or a place to get parts for your boat, Buckeye Lake Marina has it all. More information can be found at buckeyeLakeMarina.com.
And we'll also thank Standing Stone Bank. Whether you're ready to tackle a mortgage loan or need cash for home improvements, make Standing Stone Bank the key player in your home or business financial plans. Business to business, neighbor to neighbor. Let's grow this town together. Standing Stone Bank, an equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Well, thanks to all of our sponsors to help make this possible, and thank you for watching, whether you're watching on the Interface Video Productions Facebook page, CLN Your Hometown Connection on YouTube, or you're watching in the greater Fairfield County area on Spectrum Channel 1021. Thanks for watching tonight. All right, after the timeout, Reynoldsburg will kick this one off. Rathburn will take it at the 2-yard line. He has a seam out across the 30, gets the kicker to beat, and making the tackle was Ibrahim Fall near midfield, but Lancaster will have excellent starting field position around midfield.
Yeah, fantastic job by Rathburn. He's made a lot of plays in the special teams. As you watch here on the replay, does a great job of really just hitting the wedge there, right up the middle. One cut and goes here. Only has one guy to beat. Kicker makes a really, really nice tackle there. Fall able to get him on the ground, but not until he gets to midfield. Great job there, and puts Lancaster within striking distance. They're not out of this game yet, Josh. A lot of football left to be played.
Indeed, a lot of football left. 8:03 to go in the third. Gales start this drive with Luke Peden up the middle, and he'll have a first down inside the 40 of Reynoldsburg.
Yeah, nice job there by Peden. He's made a lot of different plays tonight, back at his natural position. I don't know if it's natural position, but the position he was playing earlier in the season at the fullback position in this wing T offense, where he can do a lot of damage there. But, you know, again, just the versatility of the players in this Lancaster offense has been nice to see. And if they can quit shooting themselves in the foot, they might have something here in this offensive drive.
Robinson on the carry. And he's pushing forward and picks up about 7 on that carry. Lancaster trying to grind away and get back into this ball game, trailing 32-13.
Yeah, and Reynoldsburg, again, a much improved team than they were earlier in the season, but we talked about their games earlier in the season, and they had a 20-point lead going into the fourth quarter against Upper Arlington, and Upper Arlington came back and beat them. Now, again, Upper Arlington is a very, very good football team, and Reynoldsburg, again, is much improved from that game, but just goes to show you that anything can happen in high school football, and Lancaster needs to keep fighting here, keep playing the game that they need to play, and see what they can do.
Check some other scores around the area, around Fairfield County. In the second half, it is Liberty Union leading Fairfield Union 13-0. Also in the Mid-State League tonight, it was Bloom Carroll last check all over Logan Elm. I can tell you Fisher Catholic still 7-0. Last score we got in the first quarter over Corning Miller. Ball's loose at the end of this one, and it's recovered by Reynoldsburg as Peden could not hold on to it, and another turnover. Gales' last drive got down into Reynoldsburg territory and coughed it up, and they do it again.
Yeah, we'll see the replay. I don't think he ever got the handoff, and that's the thing with this offense. It's so dependent upon timing and rhythm, and just making sure that this player goes in motion at the exact right time, gets past the play, so he's able to reverse out, get it to the fullback. The fullback has to come through the hole at the right time while still allowing the guard to pull on certain counter plays. You're asking a lot, especially when you're switching backs in and out. That's the one downside of having so many backs in the backfield.
Yeah, they always talk about mesh points, and that one incomplete. They were trying to get the running back, Zion Jackson Wilborn, up the rail, and he would have maybe had a touchdown had he been able to come up with that one.
Yeah, I know he was under pressure on that one, but I think Jennings is going to want that one back when he looks at the film on Monday. Had Jackson Wilborn just open, had gotten past the linebacker and really had the sideline. Could have been running for quite a while, but just missed him on that one.
One of the few misfires tonight for this Reynoldsburg offense. For the most part, it's been clicking on all cylinders.
Absolutely.
2nd and 10. Jennings, bubble screen. Gillum's got it, made a move down the sideline, and he is thrown out of bounds near midfield.
Yeah, and that's what we were talking about before, and I think people might have thought I was being a little silly when I gave kudos to Richards on the other side of the football, but on this one, he just gets shook out of his shoes, and that's the thing. Gillum, if you don't break down, he'll make you look silly. Gets past Richards for a big gainer on that one.
Jackson Wilburn on the carry again. Yeah, it's probably cliche to say, but Gillum would be difficult to tackle in a phone booth.
Yes, he would. He'd be difficult to tackle anywhere. Just a guy with just incredible speed, quickness, and explosiveness. We've talked about it so much tonight, but, I mean, you can't talk about it enough because he is just that good.
And a run over left side, and Jackson Wilborn's going to have another first down for Reynoldsburg. And we've seen the running game featured more here in the second half by the Raiders.
Yeah, I think the Raiders are recognizing, number one, that they've got a little bit of a lead, and while they still want to stay aggressive and put points on the board, there's no need, if you can milk a little bit of the clock and soak up this lead a little bit, hey, why not do that?
Jennings slowing it down. Now he's going to throw it deep down the middle, incomplete. Gillum had a step. If he could hold that one in, he would have raced into the end zone, but one of the rare times that pass has been thrown that he could not catch up to.
Yeah, I think that one, again, just sailed a little bit on Jennings. It's easy to say here sitting up in the booth, especially when you have those linemen coming at you. Just had the opportunity to hit Gillum over the middle, just missed him high.
Brings up 2nd and 10 from the 30. And they're going to throw deep down the sideline, and that's incomplete off the face mask of Marquise Gillum.
And that one was the absolute perfect spot for Jennings. Gillum knows that he's still down on the ground. He knows he missed a touchdown there. And again, he puts it right out there. He knows how much speed Gillum has, puts it right on him, hits him in the hands, but he just cannot bring it in. May have lost it in the lights there, Josh. It is difficult sometimes when you're looking up and that ball's just hanging up there. It comes in and out of the lights. Sometimes you're finding it just at the last second, and you don't have enough time to adjust your hands to pull it in.
3rd and 10. Jennings heaving deep down the right side. That's incomplete. Threw that too long for Troy Martin. Bring up 4th down. This will be an interesting call. See what Coach Buddy White decides to do.
Yeah, 3 interesting calls there. Again, I'm here to play armchair quarterback or second guess, but we had just talked about the success that they were having in the running game, Reynoldsburg that is. And then they called 3 deep pass plays, trying to go for it all, so to speak. And again, you can't really blame them when you have receivers like Gillum on the outside, but when you miss on those opportunities, then it brings up a 4th down, and you don't want to give any additional momentum to Lancaster. You kind of got him on the ropes. You think you might have a chance to finish him off, so we'll see if that happens.
4th and 10. Jennings steps up. Looks like he's going to run. Gets to the 20-yard line and out of bounds and has the first down.
But then Reynoldsburg says, hey, we've got Dijon Jennings in the backfield. We'll just drop him back. If he doesn't find the right receiver to come open, he can just run it with his legs. That's another dimension, yet another dimension of this Raider offense that is very, very tough to account for. Again, especially when you're doing a lot of man-to-man coverage in the backside, which we've seen Lancaster do, wisely so, when you play man too deep just to try to keep things in front of you. But then Jennings takes off running, and what are you going to do?
It's kind of one of those, how do you want us to beat you today?
Pretty much.
Here's a handoff. Jackson Wilborn will get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. As the Gales did a good job of stringing that one out. And again on the stop was Jacob Rohr.
Yeah, Rohr having himself a day. Is, continued to play hard. A lot of respect for him, what he does at that defensive end, defensive tackle, whatever you want to call it, in this 3-4 defense. Just, a very, very, very hard-nosed football player. I know one that Coach Schoonover is really, really excited to have on this football team. A great leader and a guy that does a lot for this Lancaster defense.
In fact, he actually had a pretty good offseason. Went guy, his primary player that's someone who got occasional playing time, now a every down player. And a bobbled snap there, or a bobbled handoff, and it was there on the stop for Lancaster, Xavier Conrad. Bring up 3rd and long.
Yeah, one thing that the Raiders have shown, they're not afraid of 3rd and long, or heck, even 4th and long. Despite being probably right on the verge of field goal range, I expect them to be very aggressive here and try to perhaps even score on this play.
And they're chewing up a lot of clock as well. Here's a reverse. Gillum coming around, trying to weave through defenders, breaks a tackle, but won't get by a defender at the 25-yard line.
Nice job by A.J. Locke on there, staying home on the backside. Didn't make the tackle, but slowed the play up enough so Gillum didn't get loose. We'll see here on the replay. Yeah, it's a pretty well-designed play, but as you can see, a lot of the flow goes the other side, but the one that doesn't is 44, able to allow the pursuit to come back. Eli Rathburn in there, and then they're able to finish him off, so he does not get that first down. Actually loses yard on that play.
J.D. Thomas credited with the tackle on that. Bring up 4th down and 17. Offense still out there for Reynoldsburg. Jennings picked up a 4th down with his legs last time, and now before a penalty and before the play, Reynoldsburg's going to take a timeout with 3:24 to go in the 3rd quarter, leading 32-13. A reminder, our timeouts tonight brought to you by the Carriage Company.
And while we're at it, Josh, let's take an opportunity to thank another one of our sponsors, Buffalo Wild Wings. Thanks to Larry Tipton and the crew for great food, great service, and the best sports viewing in town. It's all at Buffalo Wild Wings in the Plaza Shopping Center on North Memorial Drive in Lancaster.
4th and 17 from the 25-yard line when play resumes. 3:24 left in the 3rd quarter. Still a lot of football to be played, Marion, but if Reynoldsburg gets a score here, you kind of feel pretty good that this one's about over,
Yeah, if they get a score here, but you're asking a lot, even of an offense this explosive for Reynoldsburg on 4th and 17. I wouldn't mind, again, here I am playing armchair coach, I guess, if you will, trying to kick a field goal, try to give your kicker some confidence for going later into the season, see if he can make this one, but here they are going for it.
Jennings, all kinds of time, throws, and that ball is caught, and Gillum's going to take it in for a score. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
Well, why kick it when you can do that?
Yeah, again, I'll be quiet. I'll be quiet. Oh, my word. Let's go to the replay here, Josh. Here's Jennings dropping back. Nice job here by the offensive line, giving him some time. But we'll watch here. Richards makes a perfect break on the ball, gets a hand on it, and Gillum comes away with it. It just scoots into the end zone. My goodness. Yeah, that is just a nice job of staying focused on the football.
High snap on the extra point attempt, and it's going to be all for naught. Is coming up to blow that one up was Brendan Simcox. So the try is no good, and it makes it 38-13. Reynoldsburg will take another look.
Look at here, Richards has an opportunity, maybe even a pick six there. I mean, if he times it right, he's got his hands right on the football. If he comes down with that, he's going to, as they say, hit his head on the goalpost, knocks it up, and look at Gillum's head. Look at Gillum still has his eyes directly focused on the football. Fantastic job there in the truck with the slow motion, just to zero in on Gillum's focus on the football, and that's how he's able to bring it in. Great camera work by our cameraman, Tom Russo. Fantastic job there.
We'll acknowledge the rest of our fantastic crew bringing you that shot, but you know, you got to dance about when something like that happens, because my goodness, I mean, and you tip your cap if you're a defender. What do you do?
You make the interception.
Well,
what you do.
Fingertip away from making an interception.
Away.
Though.
It's a game of inches, as they say. A game of inches.
No
and just like example. That, again, Lancaster goes from a possible 7-point or 8-point or at least a 6-point defensive touchdown to allowing Reynoldsburg to score another one and put the game that much further out of reach.
That ball goes out of bounds inside the 5-yard line, so Lancaster will start with some decent starting position. There's Jim Spires up top, part of our Interface video production crew. Tom Russo down below. 26 rows up. We walked them a couple times tonight, so we can tell you. I'll wave from there. That's where we're at.
Here we are, folks.
Tom Russo running the camera there at the bottom of the bleachers. Jim Spires up top, and our fine crew in the truck. Our producer-director, Bob Campetti, Donnie Ziegfeld on graphics, and Shane Messina on replays tonight. And we've had a game to replay a lot of different things tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah,
a lot of amazing plays on both sides.
We have seen a lot of amazing plays, a lot of fortunate things. Sometimes the ball bounces certain kind of ways, and then just some explosive, amazing plays out of this Reynoldsburg team. They are a fun team to watch, and a very, very tough team to stop if you're a defense like Lancaster's.
And a very dangerous team once playoff time comes around as well.
Yes, they will be. They're going to be a tough out.
Rathburn bobbles it on the return, and he gets by a defender and runs right into 3 Raiders at the 23-yard line. Still a 3:07 to go here in the third quarter. Still a ton of time left in this ball game, but certainly an uphill climb for Lancaster trying to even get back in this one.
Yeah, and again, it's just been with Lancaster, shooting themselves in the foot. A couple turnovers in Raider territory that they could have had some points going in for their offense. On special teams, they had the fantastic kickoff return, had that a little somewhat negated by the block in the back. So, a play here and a play there, but when you're playing a team explosive as Reynoldsburg is, you give them any kind of chance and they'll break your back.
Here's a handoff to Peden over right guard, and he will get a few yards there. Have not seen as much of A.J. Locke here in the second half at fullback. We've seen more of Peden.
Yeah, and again, I understand why that happens. You want the fresh legs in there, but we saw sometimes the downside of that when you get players that don't have the timing used to running it with Van Gundy as maybe the other ones. You could have some unfortunate bounces, and that's what happened to Lancaster on the last drive.
Definitely tougher to come off the bench and get into the flow of the game.
Sure, yep, especially at the fullback spot.
And here's a handoff, and stumbling forward is Luke Peden as he gets across the 30 to the 31-yard line. And that brings up 3rd and 3.
Yeah, and he could have had a first down there, Josh. Looks like he was stumbling coming out of the gates as it looked.
Like kind of falling out of the blocks a little bit.
Yeah, almost. Yeah. But nevertheless, able to fall forward to get a few yards there and brings up his 3rd and 2.
Third and 2. Robinson goes in motion, and it's going to be a first down carry for Luke Peden. So So he gets it out to the 39.
And it looks like we've got a Lancaster player down on the field.
We'll take a look at that. It's like perhaps an offensive lineman. Take a look at some other scores while we have a moment. In the third quarter, it's Worthington Christian leading Byrne Union 27-7. We'll see the Rockets in a couple weeks as they take on Fisher Catholic. And at Clear Creek now trailing Taze Valley 28-14. That's in the third quarter. Liberty Union leading Fairfield Union 13-6. That's in the fourth quarter.
And the injured player on that was Jacob Rohr, so Lancaster already down in this game can ill afford to lose him. Hopefully he's not seriously injured and he'll be back in this football game.
And Rohr's made an impact on defense as well tonight, and that would be huge on both sides of the ball. First and 10 from the 39. Luke Peden again finds a big hole, and he's going to have a first down into Raider territory. Kept going. I think he landed on a Reynoldsburg player.
Yeah, he knew he wasn't down. There was a heads-up play. It was, had he been able to get off of the Reynoldsburg defender there and still maintain his balance, he could have kept running.
Wouldn't that have been something if he would have taken that to the house after getting up off
As we look
player.
at the replay, nice hole here in the middle, nice counter. But you'll see he gets hit here by a few Reynoldsburg defenders and falls right on top of number 21. That's Alex Crump-Winston.
Yeah,
he knows he's not down.
Did not go to the turf. Here's Nasir Robinson spinning and getting down inside the 40-yard line.
Good awareness by Robinson on that one. He knew he had a couple Raiders trying to pull at the football there. Good job of focusing on his ball security. Had the unfortunate fumble earlier on, but holds on to that one and gets 8 yards. Nice little chunk play for the Gales.
Other OCC scores, Pickerington Central, no problem right now with Groveport, 30-0 in the fourth. Pick North leading Grove City 38-0 in the fourth. Robinson on the carry. Gets a couple yards there. Hilliard Bradley leading Olentangy Liberty 14-3. It's in the fourth. And that will take us to the end of the quarter if the Gales do not want to run another play, and it looks like they will not. So after 3, our score, Reynoldsburg 38, Lancaster 13. Beautiful night here at Reynoldsburg Stadium. Dodged some raindrops. We thought we might be dealing with those, but thankfully that has stayed away, so I'm all for that.
Yeah, always, especially when I'm not doing the sideline. So
yes.
Even better.
Yeah, that could be a miserable experience down there.
Yeah, you know, Josh. You've been down there when it
not when it's been raining, thankfully, not as much.
All right,
but
well, that's good.
I can only imagine, though. There you see the Lancaster Band of Gold forming here at the end of the third quarter. Good sized crowd from both schools, and really, we talked about how impressive this facility is, but the support that the fans showed up tonight, and really impressed with the support here from the Raider fans as well.
Yeah, they've got a lot of students specifically. Very impressed to see the students out here and very, very plentiful cheering on their Raiders.
3rd down and 1, and here's Luke Peden busting out, and he's got it inside the 20-yard line. And he'll bring up 1st down in the red zone for Lancaster to start the 4th quarter.
Yeah, nice job there by Peden. He's been running hard. Looks like he's calling for a breather here on the next play, and here comes NAJ Locke back in the football game. But Peden's done a very nice job here in the second half from that fullback slot. Again, they had him lining up in some different positions earlier in the game, but he's gone back to the more traditional right behind the quarterback, and he's done a really, really nice job.
First and 10 from the 19. And it's going to be a handoff to Locke, and Locke will have another first down inside the 10-yard line. Lancaster still pounding away.
Yeah, and again, Josh, they have not, really been stopped. There's been a couple drives here, but there's been more times that they've just shot themselves in the foot. I mean, we've said it time and time again. It's just been, an unfortunate turnover, a crucial penalty, or some other sort of mistake. But their offense has really been humming, for the most part. And it's just a shame that a lot of unforced errors have caused this game to kind of get a little bit out of whack. Tough for them to try to stay in this football game as we go to a timeout, but still, a lot of reason for the Gales to feel like they can continue to move this football on the Raiders.
Yeah, they go next week back home to play Pickerington Central. Then you've got the back-to-back rivalry after that as they go to Whitefield and take on Newark. But certainly you think that Newark game's winnable. Another uphill climb next week. The only difference is you've got a good team at home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's always a tall order when you're playing Pickerington Central, whether you're playing at home or on the road. But they should feel confident because they are playing pretty good football if they can just stop the unforced errors.
A.J. Locke running it up the middle, stacked up by the Raiders. Pile still moving. And he'll be stopped at the 3-yard line. Jabari Mitchell, first man to hit A.J. Locke, who's slow to get up. Gets back to the huddle. Well, that's the last thing you want in a situation like this where the game's kind of a wide margin. You don't want to see any injuries.
Yeah, and Lancaster would do well to try to speed up their tempo a little bit. I know they're not a typical no-huddle offense and try to do ball control, but really just to pick it up just a tad bit to try to take advantage of the clock.
Robinson, the jet sweep, and he is in for the score. This here Robinson punches it in from 3 yards out to get Lancaster on the board for the first time here in the second half.
Yep, we'll go to the replay here. Beautiful play call here. Nice diversification in the run game. They were just pounding in between the tackles with that up man. Then you see Robinson coming here just in motion, gets the jet sweep. Again, just tough to time up that timing for the handoff. He almost ran past it, but he did in fact get it, has the speed to get to the outside, does a nice job getting past the tackle. Touchdown Gales.
Extra point is up, and it is good by J.D. Thomas. And that makes it 38-20. Still a ton of time left in this ball game, and we've seen stranger things happen, but still a big margin to go. 18-point difference.
Yeah, and I think more than anything, this is the time where you've got to see defense and not just allow a quick strike from the Reynoldsburg offense. And I know, again, that's asking a lot because they can beat you in so many different ways. But if they could force some sort of turnover, they did already earlier in the first half, was able to force a fumble. If they could get an interception, this could be a completely different football game if they're able to turn around the momentum by forcing some sort of turnover. We'll see if they try to tackle the football, do some other things a little bit more aggressively than they normally would, but still hopefully not leave themselves susceptible to a big play because they can hurt. The Raiders can hurt you.
Gales will reset if they run up towards the ball, and Reynoldsburg didn't bite. We'll see if they kick it deep or try some sort of pop-up kick. See Polini approaching it, and it's going to be an onside kick and went right to a Reynoldsburg player.
And you wonder if the special teams of the Raiders made some adjustments at halftime and said, hey, if they're going to continue to onside and squib us, you frontline guys, basically put the hands team in there. As you see there, it's number 35, Guyon Robertson. I don't know if he's a normal up guy on that front line, but certainly a skill position that you have there that's just aggressive, able to follow on that football. And getting the ball at the 48-yard line is much better than having it at the 30.
So it's 1st and 10 for Reynoldsburg at their own 48-yard line, trying to go to work on the clock. 10:31 to go. And that one's behind the intended receiver. He was trying to find Joseph Spann, who's had a good night tonight. We want to thank our friends at Buckeye Toyota for supplying us with a van this year. And it's a nice deluxe big van that we've used for cargo and many other things, but it's been our production truck. There's a look inside. Little cramped quarters. There's Shane Messina, Donnie Ziegfeld smiling for you, waving for you. We are glad to be soon back in our trailer, which is a little more spacious, and there you get to see the inside. Some behind the scenes.
Yeah, but as vans go, that's about as nice as they come. It's almost like Batman type equipment inside of that van, I tell you what.
It is. It's got the nice leather seats, too, and it's nice to drive. There you see it carry on second down. I can tell you from experience, right?
Yeah.
Play picks up 3 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for the Raiders.
We'll have that trailer back for our next game, which will be in 2 weeks because we're taking next week off so we can eat some fair food. Fairfield County Fair is next week.
Absolutely.
We'll be back at it week 10 with Fisher Catholic and Bern Union. We'll talk about that later on.
Yeah. And here we go with a really crucial 3rd down, 3rd and 7 here. If the Gales can get off the football field, this would be big to keep them in this football game.
Jennings rolling out. He's got a man wide open, and that's going to be a 1st down reception by Jackson Wilborn as Zion got loose and has a 1st down for the Raiders.
Great football call there. Misdirection there by the Raiders. Had the whole flow of the Lancaster team defense coming to the left side there. And Jennings able to reverse out, get his running back, Jackson Wilborn, in the flat there. Nobody around him. Just a beautiful play call. Nice job there. They pick up, the crucial 1st down. The clock keeps ticking, and the Gales running out of time here as the night goes on.
I got to think this is difficult for Reynoldsburg, a team that's fast-paced, trying to play slow pace in a situation like this.
Yeah, almost against their nature, and and you see when they're still running off big chunk plays here, as Jackson Wilborn does once again. They can still score in a hurry even when they're trying to take some time off the clock.
And Jackson Wilborn approaching 40 yards rushing.
See a little bit under the facility there here at Reynoldsburg Stadium. And then we'll look at the replay here again. Jackson Wilborn does a nice job circling the field, getting around his blocks. Nice job on the perimeter there. You saw Marquez Gillum, not just a speedy guy with the ball in his hands, but doing a really, really, really nice job blocking outside to spring Jackson Wilborn for a couple extra yards.
And slipping it out in the flat, and that's Spann to the 10, to the 5, and he's out of bounds. Joseph Spann, as we said, having a big night and almost put it into the end zone for Reynoldsburg.
Yeah, he does a nice job. A guy with some good speed in his own right, but doesn't look to see here. See, he takes the counter step, just getting the ball in the flat very quickly, makes a defender here miss here, and changes directions. Just a good strider. Gets right upfield. It's some more blocking on the perimeter by the Raiders. Perfectly executed play. Another 1st down, 1st and goal actually for the Raiders.
Eli Rathburn making the touchdown saving tackle for Lancaster. Jennings going to hand off to Jackson Wilborn. Stiff arms a man, and he's in for the score again. As Xavier Conrad unable to bring him down, and Reynoldsburg adds to the lead once more.
Yeah, and that's a tough ask for Xavier Conrad. Jackson Wilborn, just again, very, very, very strong runner. Gets ahead of steam. He kind of got himself in a good rhythm going here. You see as he beats his chest walking off the field because he knows he's feeling it. He knows they're putting this game out of reach. An incredible performance here tonight by the Raider offense at 44, soon to possibly 45 points.
At one point, Jackson Wilborn's averaging over 10 yards a carry.
Oh, my. Yeah.
I keep feeding him the ball.
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Extra point is up, and it is good. 7:52 to go in this one. It is now 45-20 in favor of Reynoldsburg. A lot of time left in this ball game, and a lot of points have been scored as Reynoldsburg averaging 35 basically a game. They've more than upped that. Lancaster right on their average, 20 points per game. So Really not surprising in some ways with that way that score has turned out so far.
Yeah, and we talked about it before, but I was just, thoroughly impressed with this offense. Even earlier in the season when they were still a little trying to figure things out, had some guys out fighting injuries, but they were just going up and down the field. Even on a team, again, as good as Upper Arlington has been, they really just had no answer for them. And again, because there's so many different ways that they can beat you. They can beat you on the ground. I believe Jackson Wilbon had about 140 yards rushing in that game. And then that's not to throw in any of the three receivers. And then you got Jennings who can beat you with his arm or his legs.
To what do you attribute the turnaround to? I know they've changed up some things, but there's still a psychological aspect to that when you're 0-4 and really not hitting your stride. What is it that allows you to turn it around?
I think a lot of it is just the leadership and the attitude set from the head coach on down. And we talked about earlier in the season how Coach White kept his players engaged even though they started 0-4, and he kept their confidence up and continued to tell them how good of a football team they were. He told us, earlier on, I actually told Shu, who relayed to us that, they scheduled some really, really tough games early intentionally, because they knew with the additional playoff format that they could afford to have a loss or two or three or heck even four, and still be in a potential to make a playoff run. And even though they would lose those games, they would gain that experience of playing really, really, really tough football teams and knew what it take to beat a team or at least stay in the game and play with some teams that were really, really strong.
Yeah, and talking to Shu, back when he was coaching basketball, he said he would intentionally do that and play tough schedules because it allowed you to test yourself and know what you've got to work towards when you get to the postseason.
Yeah.
You never had that flexibility previously in football.
Right.
Now with the expanded playoffs, and we'll probably see that more and more in the years ahead, as obviously schedules are set a little bit in advance, but now with the expanded playoffs, you may see more of that in football.
I hope you do, because it makes for better football players. The team gets more experience, and it's better for the fan.
Right.
To see quality football games, two really, really good teams going up against each other.
Kind of see that a little bit in college football. There's a ball loose and recovered by Reynoldsburg. And self-inflicted wounds have really cost the Gales tonight, as that's the third turnover of the ball game for Lancaster.
Yeah, and I didn't see that one completely through, Josh, but it looked like another just trouble with the quarterback, running back exchange there. Just things that you hate to see, especially 8 weeks deep into the season. You hope it, again, I can't say enough. You can't give an offense as strong as Reynoldsburg any additional help. And it's crucial to try, when you're trying to play ball control, play keep away essentially from an offense this strong. But when you give them the ball back with short fields after short field, you're just putting yourself at an even more disadvantage that is very difficult to overcome.
And I'm sure drives coaches crazy this deep into the season to see mistakes like those.
To say the least.
Jackson Wilborn busting loose, still on his feet, and he will drag a defender down to the 25-yard line. Still running hard for the Raiders.
Like Sam Fink had an ankle holding on for dear life there because Jackson Wilborn was that close to breaking another one. It looks like, that ankle that was being held on to might have been injured on that play, as we see him asking for a sub, and Williams comes back into the football game.
I'm sure this is their favorite time of the game because they get all the carries and kind of grind it out and churn out some extra yards.
Yeah, and the mark of a true good running back is one that takes pride in their pleasure as a closer. When it gets late in the football game and they've got a lead, the guy that can milk the clock and really just put the game to bed, as they say, for the offense. That's what you want to see.
Williams with the carry there. As we start to ponder over our decisions for the player of the game, or I should say Marion will. He's got the tough call tonight.
Yeah, so we'll first take a look at the player of the game, and this one's brought to you by Park National Bank. Park National Bank is a family of community banking teams delivering an exceptional breadth and depth of resources to individuals and businesses, providing a hands-on and personalized approach to service and strong local leadership that invests deeply in the places where we live and work. Park National Bank, where you mean more. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And there's a lot of choices for Reynoldsburg tonight.
Yeah.
Not easy, I'm sure.
Yeah, and again, you could give it to a lot of folks. There's so many big plays on the offensive end. Troy Martin's made some nice plays. Joseph Spann has been incredible in the receiving game. Obviously, Deion Jennings, who has been the straw that stirs the drink, But I think you've got to give it to Marquez Gillum. I mean, he has just made play after play. I think he had 100 and something yards. We didn't see 100 and something yards at halftime. And then the amazing
154 is what he's at.
154
right
is where he's at now. Had that amazing catch off the bobble. Couple touchdowns tonight. Just, again, his explosiveness, his toughness. Not to mention he's done a really nice job of blocking on the perimeter in the running game as well and in the screen game. I've just been thoroughly impressed with him. He was almost injured at the end of the first half, comes back into the football game, continues to churn away. Number 10, Marquez Gillum, our Park National Bank player of the game.
He gets a break there in the sideline. Jennings throwing for the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown, as that was hauled in by Troy Martin for the score.
And just a fantastic spot there by Deion Jennings. I mean, that is just pinpoint accuracy from, 35, 40 yards out, and just puts it right in the perfect spot where the receiver can get it and the defender cannot.
And we'll get another look at that replay. He just dropped it right in the bucket.
Yeah, dropped it right in the bucket, Josh, you're right. Gets behind the defender there, Martin does. Right over the shoulder. I mean, just perfect placement, This kid is going to be a player.
Yeah.
He's going to be really good at the next level. Folks, remember that name, Deion Jennings. He's going to make some plays at the next level in Division I college football.
It'll be interesting to see where he ends up, as the kick is up, and it is good to make it 51-20 with 4.5 to go, and that will start the running clock as well. Yeah, it'll be interesting to follow his recruiting coming up here this spring. I'm guessing he may even decide in December with that early signing period these days. So, wonder how that maybe puts more pressure on players, or do you think it takes a little pressure off having that December signing period?
I think it takes pressure off.
Do you?
Yeah, I really do. And a lot of times anymore, you've got players committing, in their 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade year. But, to have it linger on, when you're not really sure, and the longer, time period that you have, the more you try to think about your decision, and sometimes it's just better to go with your gut. So I think it's a good thing that they're pushing things ahead a little bit. And it allows players that want to get an early start, in the big-time college football, teams like Ohio State, Clemson, and Alabama, of course. If those players want to graduate early and get in there and get experience in spring football, allows them to be able to do that too that much quicker.
Reynoldsburg will kick off. That's going to trickle out of bounds, and Lancaster will start over at the 35-yard line. And that gives us a chance to name our Lancaster player of the game, which is brought to you tonight by the Edwards Insurance Agency, specializing in providing personalized insurance coverage that meets the needs of our individual clients. Contact Todd or Dale Edwards today.
Yeah, and even though, again, there's been a lot of unforced errors for the Gales, there are some things that they can take away from this football game. And I think one of the biggest things was their ability to run between the tackles. I think the offensive line continued to do a really nice job tonight. Lots of key contributors up front there. We talked a lot also about Jacob Rohr, how his play on the offense and the defensive side of the football. But I think tonight I would give the player of the game to A.J. Locke. I mean, he ran the ball really hard in the first half, scored a touchdown there, and really, as Lancaster was moving the football, he was such a key part of that. Number 44, A.J. Locke, the senior, who ran really hard tonight. I think he's the right choice for the Edwards Insurance Agency player of the game for Lancaster.
Handoff up the middle, and just a few yards there gained on first down. Yeah, he had a nice run early on down the sideline, breaking a couple of tackles to get in for the score, as Xavier Goss had the carry. There you see Locke on the sidelines, as most of the reserves for both teams now getting some opportunities. Up 2nd down and 5. Here's Alex Miller on the carry. And he'll get driven backwards as Thomas Watson there making the stop. Miller wearing the, looks like the cowboy collar. You don't see that too much
really
these days.
Don't. Yeah, you really don't. A la Mike Allstott or one of those guys, the throwback. Nice right here as he runs off the tackle. Get some good blocking on the perimeter. But that Reynoldsburg defense, as you can see, still not letting up. Playing really hard to the whistle.
Yeah, I was flipping through the other day and saw a classic college game from 2000. It was like Iowa and Penn State. And you see guys wearing these big shoulder pads. Like, you don't see that anymore. No. Guys are wearing like the youth medium shoulder pads.
Yeah, it's all about speed these days, Josh. Not about how big you look.
Handoff up the middle. That's Goss again, who will pick up the first down across the 45.
And I'll just say, because I know we're running out of time here, but despite, this looks like it's going to be a loss here, going to drop Lancaster to 3-5 on the season. But I am so impressed with what Coach Schoonover is doing with this program. The record may not reflect it. Again, they played some really, really tough teams. Even Reynoldsburg, the record doesn't show how good they are tonight. But he has done such a good job of really inflicting his attitude, character, has such good organization, just a lot of intangibles that he brings to the table as a head coach. He is the right man for this job in my position to take over for Coach Carpenter after so many years. And even though, again, they're dropping to 3-5 today, still have a couple games left here on the season, I think he's got this program moving in the right direction, and they're going to be good here before too long.
And it still takes time to implement your things. Yes, they're running pretty much the same offense. Yes, many of the coaches are the same. But there are still some nuances and some things, familiarity, that when you have someone directing it, it's different. It's still going to take some time before you get things rolling the way you want it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, Josh. And that's the thing, I hope that folks understand, as we have another almost turnover, but, these are things that can be cleaned up. But what you can't really replace, again, is just the positive attitude, the excitement. The players came into the season really, really excited about the season. And they're continuing to play hard.
Yeah, tempers flaring a little bit at the end of that play, but looks like things have been separated, and that's going to likely be the last play of the ball game as clock ticking down. Lancaster will not have to run another play, and it'll be a winning night for the Reynoldsburg Raiders as they defeat Lancaster. Final score 52-20. Reynoldsburg picks up their third win of the season to go 3-4 and stay perfect at 3-0 in the OCC Buckeye. Lancaster falls to 3-5 and now 2-1 in the OCC Buckeye. Again, big games coming up for Reynoldsburg, Central Crossing, and then Pickerington Central, which, as Coach White talked about, could very well be for a league championship in Week 10.
Yeah, and again, when you see what they're able to do on offense, they can beat really any team on any given night. If they play the way that they know that they can play and get big plays, take care of the football, and at least keep things respectable on defense. I know their defense may be a little bit behind the offense even this late into the season, but if their defense can continue to improve and complement this offense very, very well, they should be able to make a lot of big strides later as the season goes on.
And a team probably nobody in Central Ohio wants to play in the first round of the playoffs.
I don't think so, not at all.
And Lancaster will go home again, Pickerington Central next week, and close it out on the road at Newark for Week 10. We are off next week. We will be back with a game Week 10, and that will be a rivalry game as well. That'll come from Fulton Field as the Fisher Catholic Irish will host the Bern Union Rockets, and that's always an interesting matchup when those two teams get together.
Yeah, it always is, and Fisher Catholic has continued to get better every year. Under Coach Timmis, he's doing his job, doing a great job of getting his guys ready to play. But Bern Union, we can't say enough about them, as well as they played this season, undefeated on the year, and really just running through the majority of the competition that they've played this season. It'll be fun to get to see them for the first time, get our first look at them in 2 weeks, and see what they can do and see what momentum they'll take into the playoffs as well.
And actually, Bern Union losing right now in the second half to Worthington Christian. It's in the third quarter, so that will that will be interesting to see what happens to them here in a couple weeks. I'll wrap things up here from Reynoldsburg for the Buffalo Wild Wings Game of the Week. Once again, our final score, Reynoldsburg 52, Lancaster 20. For Marion Royster and our entire IVP Sports crew, I'm Josh Messerly. Thanks for watching, and good night, everybody.
IVP Sports presents the Buffalo Wild Wings High School Football Game of the Week. Brought to you by Fairfield Medical Center, Park National Bank, Dagger Law, the Frank E. Smith Funeral Home, Fairfield Federal, Standing Stone Bank, Fairfield DD, North Body Shop, Personal Touch Party Rentals and Events, the Edwards Insurance Agency, Buckeye Toyota, the Carriage Company, Huddle Tire and Auto, the Fairfield County Commissioner's Office, South Central Power, Sheridan Funeral Home, and Buckeye Lake Marina.